we are just about ready for the round 3 pairing process to begin. Our current matchup that we're looking at from the team perspective is going to be USA Stripes versus
Germany, Dichter, and Denker.
Yep. So we're just going ahead and we're trying to kind of consolidate the lists right now. And then we'll go to, how long until we have the pairing process beginning? So that's going to be starting soon, any minute now, and as soon as it does, we'll sort of switch over to that. But until then, the scenario that we're looking at this round is 2 fronts. So that's going to be the scenario with 2 rectangular zones offset, one closer to the left. The zone on the left is going to be closer to the player 1, and then the zone on the right is going to be closer to player 2. Each zone has an objective in the middle of it. And then it sounds like they're ready to do the pairing process, so we're going to go ahead and switch over.
All right.
Thanks. All right.
All right,
so it
so
looks like the USA won the die roll, and they made Germany go first.
And the German up is Robert Mockish. His list pair is Morvana 2 and Bradigus, very standard, and both of those lists are very standard versions of Morvana 2 and Bradigus. So nothing particularly outlandish when I was looking over the list there.
Right. So my guess is USA is going to counter with Jay Larson, who is playing the classic EE runes Trolls combo. And then what do you think?
That's what I'm looking at here. There's not one that immediately jumps out to me as obvious. Perhaps Brian with his Veil 1, Veil 2 combination.
Yeah. Bradigus can throw a wrench into the Legion sort of. Legion has always been kind of conventionally a typical
anti-circle
faction. But Bradigus throws a pretty big wrench into that. I don't know how Veil 2 or Veil 1. I think maybe Veil 1 has some game.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It sort of depends on the list makeup. Let me see what the Veil 1 list happens to look like here. Looks like he's got a Typhon, a Scythian, Angelius, Seraph, 2 Rakes, Shredder, some Forsaken, a Spellmartyr, Spawning Vessel. So he has some tools in that Veil 1 list, perhaps, to deal with Bradigus. I'm actually not sure, other than Jay, that Team Stripes here has a really obvious anti-Bradigus solution. Yeah.
I'm sure it's something that they thought about.
Oh, I have no doubt.
So, my guess is they're going to put up Jay and then whatever other player feels that they can have a strong game against Bradigus, which we're unsure of at this point.
Yeah,
Germany, I'm guessing, would try to avoid the troll player.
That would be my guess as well. I'm going to guess Brandon is the other one that they put forward. If it's not Brian, I think it might be Brandon with Fiora 2 and Severius 2.
Severius 2 is actually, he can be a decent counter, I guess, to Bradigus with awareness. Sort of allowing him to ignore the forests, and then, he's not going to have a very good feat, I guess.
Not a great feat, but maybe ignoring the forest is enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see. But I definitely think Jay will be one of the 2 options.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
And for those listening at home, Jay is running a combination of Calandra Doomshaper, the very traditional Runes of War, and Elemental Evolution.
Yep, we covered that.
2-pack. Yep.
So yeah, I can see them putting up either Brian or Brandon.
So they put up
and we were dead
Brian
wrong.
and Jeremy Lee.
Dead wrong.
So yeah, Brian again, Veil 1, Veil 2, and Jeremy Lee is Asphyxius 3 and Denegra 2. I assume Body and Soul is probably that Denegra 2. It is Body and Soul.
Yep. I'm curious why no troll drop here. It must be to me this indicates that they have a very strong that they consider themselves quite strong against Bradigus, or at least that they have.
There are 2 separate Signar players on the German team. and both of them have a Haley Stormwall. One of them a Haley 2 Stormwall, the other one a Haley 1 Stormwall. May be something that they're looking to play Runes of War into.
Maybe they're
so
just
they may be saving
prioritizing
Runes of War for one of those matchups.
Yeah, interesting. So of the Brian Marino and Jeremy Lee pair, I'm guessing who do we think that they're going to pick for?
So remember, we've got it's not just about Bradigus. He also has Morvana too. So between those matchups, I'm not sure. I actually don't know who they would rather. You think Bradigus throws a pretty strong wrench into Legion? They may very well just pick Brian Marino and take their Bradigus into Legion matchup.
Yeah, maybe. I think Jeremy Lee is running Body and Soul.
They're going to take the Crix player. They are.
Yep. So they
are
chose Jeremy
taking
Lee,
Jeremy Lee,
who is playing Asphyxious 3 and Denegra 2.
Okay, so then it comes back. The remainder obviously was Brian Marino and Vale 2. And they offered Sasha Massel and Moritz Riegler. Sasha Massel is a Crix player with a Epic Lich or Epic Asphyxious list that's very standard Epic Asphyxious list. His secondary list is Gorshade 3, Heavy Cavalry. So both Soul Hunters and Bane Knights. Moritz Riegler is also Crix with Denny 1, the shooting list that we've already seen twice now, including down to the
very popular list.
Yeah.
Now, yep.
And then a Scor 1 list. So it's 2 Crix lists into the Legion matchup.
That's very interesting as well.
Yeah, so if you were Brian with Vale 1, Vale 2, which of those Crix matchups do you think you would rather play into?
That is also tough. Let's see. Let me pull up Brian's lists. So Brian's Vale 2 list is a pretty standard Tier 4 Machinations of Shadows. 4 Angelius, 2 Ravagors, 2 Shepherds, Spell Martyr, and Spawning Vessel. And his Vale 1 has Typhon, Scythian, Angel, Seraph, and Double Rakes. So we could potentially see them picking the... Oh, we actually don't even need to. It looks like they just chose Brian versus Sasha.
Okay, so that'll be into the Epic Asphyxious Gorshade 3 matchup is what Brian...
Possibly just because I think is Vale... She's not immune to cold. I'm wrong about that. Yeah.
Vale is immune to cold, isn't she?
Is she? I don't.
I think. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Can we check if Vale is immune to cold? Okay. And so now we have Moritz Riegler still on the table, and he has, like we said, Denegra 1, very popular shooting-based Denegra 1 list. And then Scor 1 list is his opposite pair. And I believe it's a pretty typical Bane Knight, like Bane Knight spam Scor list.
Yeah. Yep. And with the 2 Menoth players left, as well as Jay, then I would assume that they're just going to throw both Menoth players into this Crix player.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be my guess as well.
Protect the troll from the mean old Crix.
Veils are immune to cold, so that's actually a good counter to Gorshade 3.
It could potentially skew him away from picking
right,
Gorshade 3.
into making it a Lich Legion matchup.
Which makes the matchup process a little bit easier on that.
On Brian.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So because he most likely knows what he's going to be playing into, so he can better
pick
choose.
Vale 1 or Vale 2, depending on which one he feels better about as far as...
So yeah,
so I do fully expect to see Mike and Brandon both put up against Moritz here.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Jay is probably looking at these two, the Denny 1 and the Scor 1 list, and just deciding how he... Because Elemental Evolution is actually not bad against either of those lists.
Right.
So
right.
they might actually choose Jay to go up there, and then assuming that... I mean, Moritz would certainly be aware of that.
Right, absolutely.
So they would probably avoid him in that case, which is super... weird. It's kind of counter to the wisdom of the past, which
It's
is that you always get your cricks into your trolls if
into
you
your
can.
trolls, yeah.
But EE might skew it away from that.
So it might skew it away from that slightly, but the fact that you're left with 2 Signar players on the German team, neither of which I think want to play into Runes of War, most likely, I suspect that the Crix player would take Jay if he was offered, just to keep Jay out of the Signar
that's
matchup.
an interesting choice.
I'm
I'm assuming that Jay is talking with Brandon and Mike Perrier right now about how they feel about the remaining matchups. Since after this is decided, they are going to get to choose the remainder of the 2. So they're just basically trying to figure out right now
the rest of this is just going to play out like so yeah, I think we're gonna have.
So basically, they're going to figure out which of the 3 of them does absolutely not want to play against Denny 1, Scar 1.
Right.
And then they'll put up the other 2, and then they'll be able to determine the last 2
Yeah.
matchups. So
yeah, my guess is that we'll see.
And maybe they don't care.
They very well may not.
Maybe all 3 of them want a piece of this Crix player of Moritz.
If I had to guess, I'm going to guess that the pairing is going to end up being Moritz versus Brandon. That's just my guess, though. That's what my gut is telling me.
That's your gut. It'll be interesting to find out. They're definitely taking a long time to discuss it, so it makes me think that they must have something.
Yeah, like you said, I think they're talking about all 3 different pairings and the best way to work those 3 pairing
This
outcomes.
is the time. The second to last matchup is
the one that takes the most time to discuss through. It is Moritz versus Brandon.
You were in.
Okay, so what's left is a Haley 2 Stormwall list with paired with a Kane 2 list, very traditional Kane 2 list, and then a Haley 3 Storm Nouns plus Trenchers, and a Haley 1 paired with a Haley 1 Stormwall. Those are the 2 Signar for Germany, and then for America we have Jay's EE and Runes of War, as well as Mike Perrier's Harbinger and Severius 1.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think, kind of want to look at Mike's Severius 1 list.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that right now as well.
So he's running a Reckoner, Blessing of Vengeance, Choir, of course, Exemplar Errants, Roven and Co., and Tristan with Adjudicator, actually. So that's interesting.
Wow.
That's very interesting. I can't tell if they've decided here.
I assume Mike is going to want to avoid. It's both of their Signar players, right?
Yes.
So I assume Mike is going to want to avoid Kane 2.
It looks like they've made the decision, but it was not clear to us which one got paired to which, so we're going to check on that real quick here so we can figure it out.
Yeah. Like I said, I would assume Mike would want to avoid Kane 2. At least with his Severius
I would
list.
agree. I would agree with that. I was going to say I think that it's going to be Mike versus Benjamin and Christian Metz versus Jay Larson. That would be my assumption because of the existence of Kane 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're actually still deciding
Okay.
the last 2.
Okay.
I mean, this is the kind of time where since you have the choice available to you,
Like really
they
take
need to
your time
yeah,
and make sure that
really
you're making the right
decide like
choice.
if both lists, if
Yeah.
one player has any lists that could possibly offer you a problem, and
Absolutely.
figure that out. Like there's no, they have roughly 15 minutes to decide, and after
Okay.
that 15 minutes is up, they have to call a judge over to the table, and the judge finishes the pairings, which nobody wants.
Right. Right. Yeah. No one.
But 15 minutes is plenty of time to figure out,
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this matchup process, I think, is truly what makes the WTC really fun.
Really interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
like every round when we sat down to talk about it, it's just really interesting to think about from our perspective.
It's very difficult to predict the way that people are kind of, because it all comes down to someone's gut feeling about a matchup, and if they've played a matchup several times and they think that it's good, then they want it. But sometimes
the matchup changes.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a slight difference in the list. Maybe the player plays the list the way that you've never seen before. So yeah, can all. All right. It sounds like they're pretty close to making that final decision here. So just another minute or so.
Jay's ping-ponging back and forth between the table and his teammates. Jay is the team captain of USA Stripes.
Stripes,
So yeah, the decision falls on him. Although the captain is freely able to confer with their teammates as much as possible during this time.
Sure.
And the coach, apparently. I'm really curious what what's got their consideration so much.
Yeah, they're pretty deep in the tank right now, and I'm sort of surprised. I mean, I don't. Obviously, they've played their lists a lot more than we have, but it seemed like kind of a gut. Like
yeah, it was definitely
you don't want to put per year against Kane too. Like neither Severius nor Harbinger particularly want to play against Kane too.
I could be wrong here. My assumption is that the hang-up is on what Mike is deciding what he
that
wants
could be.
to do.
I know Mike is very particular
Yeah,
when making
right.
list choices, and not always conventional either. A lot of times in discussions, I've been surprised by his evaluation of matchups.
Right.
So
right.
that certainly could be the case.
Yeah, but I assume that Jay is considered. I mean, and also Jay is extremely well versed in Signar, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
So he's going to, obviously have more personal knowledge about which of these matchups, he feels would be better for him. My assumption is that he's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And looks like we have maybe a decision.
Yep. It is Christian versus Jay, as we predicted, and Benjamin versus Mike. So it is as we predicted. Mike per year into with his Severius and Harbinger build into Haley 3, Haley 1. And Jay with EE and Runes of War into Haley 2, Stormwall, and Kane 2. Okay. So now that we know these matchups, we can discuss a little bit what we think the actual, the specific matchups out of the two list pairs are going to be.
Yeah, sure.
So we can start Christian Metz, Haley 2, Stormwall, Kane 2 versus Jay Larson with EE
Runes of War and Elemental.
Yeah. Yep. My gut is that Jay's going to pick Runes of War for this matchup.
Yeah, Runes of War is a pretty standard, known hard list for Signar to deal with. The weak point in that list is probably going to be Doomshaper, and he's not going to be. He's even not, terribly easy to kill for the kinds of lists that for a Stormwall kind of list or a Kane 2 kind of list. And every attempt you make on him is very dangerous with Mulg.
Right. So the Haley 2 seems like the sort of default list for Christian Metz to choose in this situation. That I think that most people would agree that Haley 2 Stormwall is going to be unfavored in the matchup against Runes of War. So does Kane 2 have some sort of kind of play? Is there maybe like a Maverick option here where he could choose Kane 2?
Well, Kane 2's always got a chip in a chair.
Right.
As long as your caster is killable. So he could just take it and play for the long game and hope that Jay maybe just makes a mistake with casting too many Animi, some turn, or spends a little bit too much focus filling the Creel Stone, or and then he might go in for the gotcha assassination. But I have a tough time thinking that Jay would make that mistake. He's very experienced
and very careful.
Very careful. Yeah. So I mean, it's not entirely unlikely too for Kane to take down multiple heavies over the course of his feat turn. So that kind of play, and then Kane by himself can pick off 2 or 3 Rune Shapers a turn.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably. Probably 2 or 3 Rune Shapers a turn, I would say, and then teleport out to safety with Gatecrasher. So that he can provide both attrition and or actually both of those facets allow him to make a fairly strong attrition play if he decides to go for that route. It requires him to get a little lucky on the positioning of the War Beasts to be able to apply. Kane can't do that all on his own. He's got to be able to apply the right debuffs.
True. Remember that
Harm's got to go in there. Ragman, probably
Dark Shroud, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and Banishing Lord makes that very difficult.
That's very true. I had forgotten about Banishing Word. That's a good
Yeah.
point. We do remember we are playing on 2 fronts. That will make Runes of War slightly it's slightly harder to play, assuming that the Rune Shapers can be picked off because the brick obviously wants to stay together.
Yeah, yeah. If he goes with the kind of typical plan of you starting on your kind of deploy near your zone, and then you move to the enemy zone through your zone so that you don't really give them much of an opportunity to clear out your zone and get the free sort of scenario points early game.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just move toward, like I said, you move towards them, so you've built up all of your space, in the back with your models occupying your zone as much as possible. I think that he could probably stall out scenario for long enough to, be able to get there, but I don't know, maybe not.
So we do expect to see Haley 2 Stormwall versus Runes of War in that matchup.
I think so, yeah. Well, it'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see what
we've been
Christian
wrong
goes.
plenty of
We
times.
have indeed.
So.
We have indeed. We're making a career out of it.
Yep.
All right. Second matchup is Sasha Mazel, and he has Lich 2 and Gorshade 3 cavalry list. He has both Soul Hunters and Bane Knights, or Bane Riders. And he's going up against Brian Marino with his Veil 1, Veil 2. Who we have discovered are, in fact, immune to cold. So
now, is that enough to
drive him away from Gorshade 3?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Potentially. Cav seem pretty good in general against Legion lists.
I don't know.
You don't think they hit hard enough?
They're too easy to remove one at a time.
That's fair, actually.
From the the long distance that Veil can provide.
I was going to say the Veil 2 list has 4 Angelius, 2 Ravagor. And then the Veil 1 list has Typhon, Scythian, Angelius, Seraph, and a couple of Rakes.
Yeah.
So the Veil 1 list maybe not quite as shooty, but the Veil 2 list may be what we end up seeing in play.
Yeah.
Here.
So it's not that it's not their hitting potential, rather it's just that they might, I think, die before they even get.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair. Given that,
now Gorshade also has occultation. So
which doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So
good to know. Good to know. Yeah. Yeah, but it is on his spell card. That is correct. It is absolutely on his spell card. Yeah.
So Lich 2, though, the thing about Lich 2, I just feel like defaulting to Lich 2
is kind of the way to go.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen in earlier rounds as well. It's kind of when someone's unsure, it's like, I've got Lich 2. He's good against everything, so.
I'm trying to think of how Keith has talked about his matchup into Legion with Lich 2, because frequently he does not play Lich 2 in his Legion matchups.
Right. Well, he fears the assassination.
Right.
Now, something that Keith does to try and protect himself from the assassination often is providing some, if he can get some kind of favorable terrain advantage, like an arc node on a hill that he kills.
Yeah.
To provide himself with some,
some
mobile
plus 6 defense.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Where he can place his rec marker wherever he wants. Basically, he sacrifices his 4-point arc node, kills it himself. So that now he can have his caster very far up the field with plus 6 defense. That makes it very hard to, that makes the Legion beasts very unreliable.
I do think we're probably going to see, my gut says power casters here, Lich 2 versus Veil 2.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I think that would be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Because they both have the sort of assassination potential. So that's interesting. I guess.
Yeah.
I think that you're probably right though.
Okay.
I think in these situations when it's like default to, or when you're presented
default
with
to a top tier,
when you're presented with a situation where the answer is unclear, you default to the powerful choice.
To the strongest choice you have available to you. All right, so the third matchup is Moritz Riegler with Denegro 1 shooting list and a Scor 1 list versus Brandon Kading. Brandon is running
Severius 2
and Fiora 2.
Yep.
Fiora 2 has Adjudicator, Double Reckoner.
I don't think we even have to. I think he's going to drop Severius 2.
You do?
Yeah, it's 2. He's too good against
Crix in general. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Let's take a look at his list. I guess if it's full of colossals, then
it does have Adjudicator in it. So he's got Adjudicator, a Reckoner, and a Blessing of Vengeance.
That's the list that he played at Warmachine.
Yeah, it is. This is the Temple Flame Guard, Rovan and Co.
So he might not play that list against. He might choose to not play that list against Crix.
It's not like Fiora 2 is awful against Crix. I mean,
she's not. I assume that she's very Warjack heavy.
She is. She has Adjudicator and 2 Reckoners. So
So,
She
this
does
is
still
just-
have Temple Flame Guard, Iona and Holt, a couple Vassals and Mechanics. I think you're right. I think Severius 2 is probably his choice.
I don't know.
But it's...
I think this could go either way. It depends on because just dropping a Colossal into Crix is such a bad idea.
It is, in general, a bad idea.
Sevi 2 has a couple of he can Holy Ward it, which if you prevent Parasite, that can be a big swing. That can prevent the Colossal from super trivially dying. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of things to consider on both sides. Fiora 2 is also not a terrible matchup in a lot of ways against Denegra because you can permanently light her on fire.
Yeah.
She hates that. So
Apparently, we do have the matchup, so why don't you and I just real quick take our guesses before they
sure.
tell us? And all right, so I'm going to guess that we see Scar 1 into Sevi 2 here.
I am going to say Denny 1 into Sevi 2.
Okay, so Chad says Denny 1 into Sevi 2. All right, Robert Makish versus Jeremy Lee. It's Morvana 2 and Bradigus, and Jeremy Lee is playing Asphyxius 3 and Denegra 2. I'm going to guess Bradigus.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Bradigus into Body and Soul.
Bradigus into Body and Soul. I like that. And then Benjamin Futsi and Mike Perrier, we're talking Haley 3 with the Stormblades and Trenchers, and Haley 1 with a Stormwall into Mike's Sevi 1 and Harbinger. I'm going to guess Sevi 1 for Mike.
I'm going to guess Harbinger for Mike.
You think Harbinger? Actually, Harbinger is a strong play into Haley 3.
Yeah.
Not as strong into Haley 1 Stormwall. It's kind of a toss-up. All right, I'm going to go Sevi 1 and Haley 1.
I'm going to go Harby Haley 1.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see Haley 3 today. I want to see it.
I want to, too, but I don't
wanna
think we're
see
going to see it. Yeah.
So
All right.
let's see what we got.
All right, let's see what we got.
So let's move to the tables now. I think we're going to move to table 1. Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to go to table 1, which
We don't have an order yet. We're not sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah. This was just as they were picked.
we'll see it as we see it.
Okay, so this is the... All right, so Sasha Maisel versus Brian Marino, and the selection was Gorshade 3 versus Veil 2. So he did not default to Lich.
How wrong can we be?
We can be
can
real
be
wrong.
really,
We at
really
least picked Veil 2.
Super wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super wrong.
All right, so this is Sasha and Brian with Gorshade and Veil 2. Okay. We are ready to go to table 2. Okay,
Yep.
so this is Robert McKish and Jeremy Lee.
The chat called this one 100% right. We're just donkeys to them.
We are super donkeys. All right, so this is Robert with Bradigus, which we did assume he would play Bradigus.
Yep. I didn't do the full math in my brain.
Yeah. Well, we were going quickly as well here and then we have Jeremy Lee, and he actually picked Asphyxius 3. So that is our table 2 matchup. You can go to table 3 when. All right, so this is Benjamin Futsi, and he is playing Haley 3. So we are going to get to see Haley 3 today, so that's exciting.
Awesome.
And it's Mike with Sevi 1. Is that correct? Sevi 1? Yeah, okay. So Mike did pick Sevi 1. So I was right on that one.
Yeah,
okay.
if we thought about it a little bit more, I think we would have realized that Sevi 1 is really, really bad versus Haley 3. Actually, or it's really
bad for Haley 3. Yeah.
Because his feat stops the shadows stops the echoes from happening at all.
Oh, does it really?
Well, she can't get any focus. She can't spend any focus.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Including upkeeping the echoes.
I hadn't thought that is really bad for
So that's
her.
like a 2-turn almost
time walk on her. Yeah.
Or she just has to go the rest of the game without having any echoes in play, and that's terrible.
Yeah, that's super rough actually.
So, yeah.
Although we might see some really aggressive play from her echoes early on because of that fact.
I mean, the other problem is every time Sevi pops his feet, he's in danger.
That's also very true.
14 casters.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to table 4 now and see what that matchup is. All right, so this is Christian versus Jay. Christian brought Kane 2, so he did pull out the old razzle dazzle here to throw us off. And Jay did bring Runes of War as expected.
Yeah.
We're better at picking the Americans than
Weird.
the Germans.
Yeah,
That's
weird.
super weird. Super weird.
How did that happen?
yeah.
It's
So how
almost
do you?
like we know 5 of these people. And
I
we
know,
don't
right?
Know the other.
I know
Anyway.
exactly. How do we feel about this for Jay here?
I have to think that unless he can, like I said, unless he can manufacture the sweet feat turn where you can kill like the Earthborn and Mulg or something, I think it's going to be pretty tough for Kane to deal with all of the beef.
I'm curious about a scenario play from Kane where Kane and the other shooting elements of his army take care of the rune shapers. Kane bunkers down in his own zone and jams boom howlers into the brick across from him. Like, do you see that potentially being a strong
that could definitely
strong play
happen.
for Kane too? So we'll have to see if Christian ends up playing it that way, or if he's looking for an assassination, or looking for a very powerful feat turn to remove 1 to 2 heavies with Kane himself. Be an interesting game. All right, we'll go to table 5.
And we do have confirmation, by the way. Jay Larson is wearing a Grumpy Cat hat.
Fantastic confirmation. All right, so 5 is Moritz Riegler with Scor 1 versus Brandon Caney with Severius 2. We nailed it. Actually, Chad picked Denny 1, but I nailed it.
Dang it. I quit. I quit.
Yeah.
What
so
am I even here for?
I don't know. Well, you're here because you know about
I guess
the rules.
I guess I need to be the bobbling head.
That's yeah, exactly. We need somebody for the audience to be
Yeah.
like, man, I could do his job better.
I hate you.
Oh. All right, so this is Scor 1 into Severius 2. That Judicator seems like a huge liability. Like, just looking at the table right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sevi's feat is so good against Crix, though.
It is.
I mean, he can ace all of the like good solos.
Yeah, absolutely true.
and
Absolutely true.
UAs and yeah. So that's what I'm expecting. Also, besides the Statixis, Judicator is kind of a double-edged sword, I guess, against Crix. Still an 18-point or a 19-point or whatever it costs. One model that can be killed pretty easily by
by
a majority of the Crix army.
right,
But
particularly
on the
with
other
Scor.
hand, on the other hand, the AoEs that it drops are also very good at killing Crix infantry.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
and they're pretty long ranged. So
Very
it kind
true.
of just depends on how the engagement sort of works out. If the AoEs kind of happen favorably for Brandon, it could possibly like swing him towards a slippery slope sort of scenario victory.
Sure.
If not, then I see pretty much once anything gets to that Judicator, it's just gonna blow up.
Very
So-
true. Can I?
Like I said though too, Holy Ward does make a bit of a difference. I guess Holy Ward makes it a little bit harder to kill than normal.
Yeah.
So he can't
It does.
parasite it, and
Yeah.
brings it up to a respectable defense. I think 10,
Yeah. Maybe even 11.
maybe even 11.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss those 4s.
Hey, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing is just not being able to parasite it.
No. Yeah. Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
Also, Severius's gun, if he has an arc node, which I don't
Is
think
very
he
good.
does,
He's got Blessing of Vengeance.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah, of
Blessing of
course.
Vengeance an arc
Yep,
node?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That's his arc node, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just missed that. So that is also pretty decent at clearing out.
That's very
games.
true.
So
That's
yeah,
very
he
true.
might actually have a list here teched specifically
For Crix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite the unconventional kind of it's a colossal, but
Can I
turns out
comment?
colossals can kill things too.
I just want to comment in this these 5 matchups, we have both Sevi 1 and Sevi 2, who I feel like we have not really seen outside of Brandon playing him last year at Warmachine Weekend at any conventions or tournaments in a long time. Sevi's kind of disappeared. Now we
Yeah.
got both versions right here on these tables.
Well, Menoth has kind of disappeared,
That's very true.
and they have Team USA Stripes has 2.
2 Menoth
Menoth
players.
players,
I know.
so-
That's also kind of unique.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the Satixus Raiders are definitely going to be the big roadblock for him here, just because he has no really easy way of killing them.
Sevi does or does not have Ashes to Ashes?
Sevi 1 has Ashes to
But
Ashes,
not Sevi
but not
2.
Sevi 2.
Okay.
No.
I couldn't remember if he had lost it.
Yep. Yeah, I think his only. I think he's got Immolation.
Okay. Yeah, I think
something
you're
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Like, his gun can Ashes to Ashes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about. But it's like a half Ashes to
It's
Ashes.
like it's a D3, and it's a ranged attack, so it's
It's affected by the force.
difficult
barrier.
to hit. The Satixus Raiders. But
Yeah.
I mean, if he can have something, I don't think I'm not even sure if it bounces off of. That might be something to check. I'm not sure if it bounces off of friendly models. If it does, he might be able to make some kind of play where he runs one of his own models up there to try and get bounce to the Blood Witch or to the Sea Hag. And once the UA is dead, then it's
It's
time to go to
much different game.
It's time to go to Pound Town.
Time to go to Pound Town.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Also, as the chat points out, TFG have CMA, so they are decent at killing.
Yeah.
They're only like Mat 6, so
I think Mat 6.
getting up to Mat 8, they could,
They need 6s.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not terrible.
not terrible. Unfortunately, Styxus are pretty good at killing TFG as well. So
Yeah.
he didn't even bother to shield wall them because it just makes them slow and it doesn't actually protect them from the chain weapons.
Yeah. Do you foresee him using Scar's feet here strictly offensively, or is he going to be use it defensively to reduce damage coming in? I don't know if there's enough gunfire here to warrant a defensive feat.
Yeah,
It's like right on the line almost.
it's the +5 really helps against those AOEs,
Right.
but I don't know. I generally don't think that. In my opinion, I generally don't think that Scar 1 defensive feats are a great play.
Yeah, it's usually when she's trying to run everything into a massive gun line.
Moritz is a very he's very
very
good.
competent player. Yeah,
this entire team is very
good.
Yeah. Just to provide a little background, I guess the USA stripe. I was on USA Stripes 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago,
2 years ago,
2 years ago,
2 years.
whatever.
It's
2
only
years
been
ago.
yeah. There were 2 previous WTCs. You were at the first one.
Yeah, and the one team that ended up beating us that year was this Germany team.
Right.
Almost, I think 3 of the same players at least.
I do remember the name of Moritz.
Yeah, that's the guy that beat me.
That beat you, right?
Yep.
He was playing Harbinger at the time.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about
Didn't he just basically
Let's talk
cheat you
about
out of scenario?
literally anything else.
Wasn't it really embarrassing?
I mean, so Brandon is looking very stylish in
He
his
is. He is.
USA
Those jerseys are
t-shirt,
spot on.
and,
Yeah.
pirate jokes. How about those pirate jokes? Anyway, yeah. So to note, just to get a little bit back on track here. That is a lot of bunched up dudes, right there.
Yes, it is.
Judicator, I feel like, is going to have a heyday.
I think the Judicator is going to shoot in that general northerly zone there.
Yeah. I think Brandon.
Brandon is drooling. I think there was a little drool, maybe that escaped his lip there as he was looking at that northern zone.
I mean, half of those are Satixus Raiders, so not quite as juicy as.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's still that's a lot of that is just a densely packed.
It's so dense. Every frame is so dense. I keep picking the wrong Sevi when I'm trying to. This is Sevi 2. Yes, Sevi 2.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So.
The tough thing though too is he's so spread out. Like he's kind of densely packed, but he's also spread vertically, or I guess horizontally to them.
Yeah.
To such a degree that unless the Judicator really just picks one side and goes for that side, and it has to actually get pretty good drifts to clear out most of the stuff on that side, anything left over, especially with vengeance moves, is going to be able to get to the Judicator. And then with Scar's feet and, actually backlash is even like a potential worry.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, maybe Judicator even just backs up here or stays where he is and just kind of hopes that the drifts go where he wants.
Do we feel like the game is about the Judicator? I mean, frequently Colossal games are, Do we feel like it's that important in this game?
I mean, it's 18 points.
Yeah.
Like,
If the Judicator does 10 points worth of work before it dies, is that enough?
maybe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The tough thing is the vengeance, just not being able to really
Control it.
control
Yeah,
where the
absolutely.
AOE's
Yeah.
go precisely.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've definitely had some experience with that. You always kill exactly one Bane Knight with an Errant Drift. Always.
Yeah, always. Now, yeah, I'm also curious whether or not Brandon is going to feat to just maybe like shear off the front line. I don't know if that's a great play. I don't think it is. I think you want to save it for the kind of the juicy solos. If you can do it.
Just as a reminder to our listeners, the Severius feat is D3 plus 3 undead models currently in his control area suffer POW 12 fire damage roll.
Yep,
And
which
you
he
decide
can boost.
and you pick which models you.
Yep.
It's not just the closest 3 or.
So, like, what
whatever.
I assume he would try and save those for are things like necrosurgeons, although they're probably never going to be close enough that he can get them without being in extreme danger.
Right.
Especially if he's putting. Well, he doesn't need to put Holy Ward on the Judicator because Scor doesn't have any kind of offensive debuffs.
Right.
Well, backlash, I guess. So that'd be a good one to protect against.
Yeah.
But it might also be not a bad play to just the Holy Ward. Severius the turn that he's going to go up and try and scalpel out some models with his feet. So yep, you see Moritz has just provided him with just this massive wall of dudes, and Brandon is kind of trying to figure out how to best approach it.
Sort of that very typical. You can come up and engage a few of my models, kill a few of my models, but you're not going to be able to get to the whole chunk here, and everything's going to be in range to really get deep into the back of both the zones on the next turn.
I forgot also, Sevi has a spell called Fear of God.
He does have Fear of God, yeah.
That's going to be really good, because
Yeah.
he can basically just put it on a unit and kind of forget about that unit.
Right.
Probably the Bane Knights at the top,
That would be, I think, the ideal
Yeah.
unit to put it on.
but also potentially the Satixis.
The Satixis Raiders is where I thought it was probably going to go initially.
They just have such a long throw range anyway
Right, that
being able
it may
to-
not matter
yeah.
too much because they can still walk and engage. But yeah, the Bane Knight seems like a good choice for that. Just preventing them from being able to charge helps a lot, particularly for the survival of the Judicator. Yeah, we're gonna while Brandon's thinking over his turn, we're gonna take a quick bird's eye view of the tables, just check in on where they're at here. Gonna check in at table 1 with Sasha playing Gorshade 3 and Brian playing Veil 2. All right, so it looks like Brian is filling up his pot here. Looks like Sasha is flanking both sides with his cavalry, running the Kraken up the middle, along with his, is that Mechanothralls there in train? Yeah.
Mhm. I do like the Mechanothral, or the Kraken addition to the Gorshade 3 list, just giving him that ranged presence to him being able to freeze your caster and just siphon bolt them to death is not often enough.
Yeah, sometimes you need that big gun.
So, also, for Veil, the Kraken could easily walk with Infernal Machine, and it has its 4-inch reach. It could maybe throw a model to try and knock her down to kind of get a pseudo.
Yeah.
You can't make her stationary, but he can knock her down, and the Kraken has a long throw range.
Very true. Very true.
So that's something that we could potentially look out for.
I'm going to check in at table 2 now. This is Robert playing Bradigus against Jeremy Lee playing Asphyxius 3. Appears that quite a contrast here. The very clouded Asphyxius 3 army, very spread out, and the very tightly packed
Circle
Bradigus.
army,
Bradigus list. See all the tokens necessary to play Bradigus Steam Force.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing to note about this matchup is Asphyxius 3's feat versus Bradigus is almost guaranteed to get upwards of 20.
Yeah, because there's just so
souls.
much fury on the table. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's
I
absolutely
mean, because
true.
they're each wold is going to have to force to
to-
at least get +4 armor,
Right,
and then
yep.
if they want to do anything after that,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So
That actually is
something I
don't-
hadn't even considered
I
when we
hadn't
were
thought
talking
of
about that.
yeah, I hadn't thought about it at all. I don't know what he then does with that extra focus in this matchup.
I mean, you're not going to turn away
No, absolutely
12
not.
extra focus.
The question is just does he then have something to do with it that's particularly relevant in this matchup?
I don't know, Hellfire.
Yeah.
If Bradigus isn't camping a bunch.
Sure, obviously with that much focus you can always go for an assassination like
Also, I mean, it's pretty decent to just finish off any wounded but not dead Wold Watchers. So you can't shield guard it, so.
true.
So we're going to bump over to table 3 real quick to just check in on them and see how they're doing at the beginning of the game. Now that everyone's kind of unpacked a little bit.
Again, this is Benjamin with Haley 3 versus Mike with Severius 1. So we can see that storm pack there, the knights and the blades, or lances rather. Storm blades and storm lances. Severius 1 have awareness?
Nope.
Okay. It's Severius 2 that has awareness.
Correct.
Okay. So the Trencher Cloud Wall here is relevant.
The clouds are going to be effective.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Ashes to Ashes is not bad in this matchup. It's pretty good,
Yeah.
I would say. Just due to his ability to maybe like run an errant forward into the clouds and then target it in the back with Ashes to Ashes.
Sure.
And then get some POW 13s on.
Ashes to Ashes does or does not RFP?
It does not.
Okay. Okay. So not quite as awesome as it could be, but
No, but I mean, it might be a way to dig deep in. I mean, if you kill enough models, she can only revive so many.
Right.
Of them,
Very true.
And then, like we said too, the feat turn is going to be
Really brutal.
very brutal.
Yeah.
The big thing is just going to be whether he can protect Severius following the feat.
So it appears he's running his trenchers here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Well, that guy, the first one moved very far. Yeah, he's got to be running them. Well, it's a min unit of trenchers. There's 5 left, so one of them have died. One of them has died.
Oh, sounds like there was a small gap. We're getting reports that there was a small gap in the cloud wall last turn where Mike could draw just a sliver of line of sight to launch some AoEs from. And he got, it sounds like a trencher or 2.
I know it's a min unit. Looks like there's 4 left. Okay. Looks like 4 left. So must have killed 2 trenchers.
Abandoning the cloud wall plan so early
seems
bold.
Foolhardy, perhaps. not to be too harsh. I'm not playing the game, but it definitely does seem curious. It seems like a curious decision.
Is
that the Piper? Or?
That's Baby Haley.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, yep, Haleys are activating. The Haley Echoes are incorporeal, so that's why they can just move through all that
absolutely.
garbage. But, and this looks like a feat turn. Yep, he's counting out 6 focus for each. So she's probably going to launch some chain blasts. Baby Haley's probably going to launch some chain blasts.
Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see if he plans on regrowing the 2 lost trenchers.
Oh, so he's casting. Oh, he's trying to kill Severius right now. Actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's casting Force Hammer through Thorn onto Gorman.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's trying to knock him down.
And then
That's Severius standing there
yep,
by the Judicator
in the water. Yep.
Yeah, this is very similar to the way Keith killed me the first time that we played, where he knocked me down when I thought I was, behind a cloud and a colossal. But there was a sliver.
Now, does Haley ignore? Does baby Haley ignore stealth? Do they all ignore stealth?
No, only.
Oh no, she grants it to the unit.
Grandma grants it to the unit.
Grants it to the unit. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And yep, so I think we have confirmation Severius was in fact knocked down. Gorman got obliterated.
It was destroyed by that force.
By
blast.
that,
yeah.
4 dice damage, Force Hammer. Okay. So Severius is knocked down. And then 2 Stormlances got revived. Yeah, I think Severius is just going to get blown away.
I believe that this is probably all over by the shouting. The shouting will be from Mike.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's looking for bad damage rolls here on the Stormlances that are coming in, and I think this maybe some of those Storm Gunners can even assault in with their long-range Storm Guns. So, yeah, I think this is not looking good.
No. It's actually interesting that Sevi is so far forward. I kind of wonder why.
Maybe he was positioning for that feat that we were talking about. Just
That's
like
very
maybe
possible.
He got a little bit greedy.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Or he's never played against Haley 3 before, and Mike is not.
It appears he dominated his Wrecker.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think he just did 12 to Sevi.
Yep. Sevi just took 12 damage from a dominated Wrecker.
Wrecker, yeah. So sitting on 7 life left.
He's toast.
He's very dead, yeah.
Rip Sevi.
So that's the as opposed to our previous round, that's the correct way to dominate a Jack and hit their caster when they're knocked down.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Knock them down first. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, now he's just trying to basically clear out that errant so he can
get those storm.
Yep. I mean, he's not going to be able to clear it out because of self-sack, but
right.
But still, I'm not sure that he needs to.
I don't think so.
But you want to try and make it easier on yourself if you can.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And those models aren't doing anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Iris failed to shoot anyway, so.
Classic Iris.
Just to answer the chat, I believe he did chant no shooting on his Warjacks.
All right, so it looks like he's getting some proxy bases out here to accurately move the Storm Lances.
Yep, and they're assaulting Sevi. Yep. So he's going with his impact attacks. I think the 2 of them are going to do it.
I think so. He's only got 7
like
boxes left.
Yeah.
He's sitting
on
nothing.
He's got way less than 7 boxes left.
Oh, Mike has 7 marked here, so that's why I assumed he had 7 left.
Oh.
I think maybe the roll was 12. Maybe it was slightly less. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think that he's still.
I think he's in trouble, yeah.
So the Stormlances have a range 10 gun, I believe. So they even if that self-sack from the Errants stops that front Stormlance from moving any farther, it'll fail its charge, but it still gets to make
assault shot.
Yep. As long as it's within range.
Absolutely.
So I think he's going to easily get 2
two.
Stormlance is assaulting,
yeah.
possibly more.
Yeah, but at least two, and the POW on it is 12. Is that correct? Stormlance.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's POW 12, so it'll be off 2 on Sevi. So apparently he may only get 1 here.
Yeah, looks like 1. I don't know why he didn't do this one.
Yep.
Oh, they're range 8.
Yeah, so...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're range 8.
All right, so apparently Mike is on 1.
Just left down to 1. And now he's going to Electro Leap with the remaining onto the Judicator.
Yeah.
So he's charged the remaining ones onto the Judicator.
Adjudicator, so that he can Electro Leap their bounces into.
He does a couple of damage to a Vassal, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Vassal actually managed to live long enough to soak up all the Electro Leaps.
Yep.
I don't know if...
Vassal ate 3 Electro Leaps. That's pretty good.
That is really good. I don't know if Benjamin has another...
Well, like I said, the Storm Gunners, I think, can get there.
Yeah, that's the question. Do they have Assault?
Yep. If they have the UA, which they do, it's range 8, or so they 8-inch charge, 12-inch assault on them, I believe.
Okay.
Feel free to double check me on that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I'm pretty sure. So he's probably going to get 3 assaults on those. And all he needs is 1 hit, and then the rest auto hit. Although at 1 hit point, so it looks like he's got 2 in range, and that's going to be
should be enough.
That's going to be game. POW 14 at dice damage. All right.
Yep.
So
yep. All right. Well, that is a victory to Benjamin and Haley 3, and that's one of the first lessons I learned about Haley 3. If your caster is not completely safe, she can get the angle. She can make it happen.
Right, yeah, she's really good at that.
Yeah. So that was Haley 3 and her assassination skills in action.
1 point for team
1 point
Germany.
to Germany. D&D.
We're going to go over to table 4 now.
Bounce over to table 4, where we have Christian with Kane 2 versus Jay with Runes of War. Looks like Jay is doing his best to kind of straddle the gap between the zones here with his battle group.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's done, I'm surprised he has as many Rune Shapers as he does on the bottom.
Right.
I would have assumed he kind of would have skewed them
Send
a little bit
towards
more
the top.
towards the top.
Yeah.
Since they're a little bit more mobile, they're a little bit more independent.
Yeah.
They can stay, they can operate independently of the battle group, rather. But maybe just the 3 Rune Shapers sort of screening for the Mauler there are going to be enough.
Yeah. It's interesting that he's assigned the Mauler to the top. Frequently you see this list played, all 3 of them.
I don't think you really need the Mauler Animus.
No, absolutely not. I think you're exactly right about that.
So, and the Mauler and the Earthborn is, extremely important in this matchup too. So you don't want it to be off on its own.
Right. Very true.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're discussing
how much Fury is
on the Krillstone.
So I'm curious, though, if Jay is going to be able to move Doomshaper into that zone ever to start, dominating his own for points, or whether he's just going to be too cautious to, stop that Kane to assassination from coming in. So, and I wouldn't blame him, I don't think that's a bad play to just avoid it entirely.
Right.
But
yeah, for sure.
Even behind a wall, it's still sometimes
not good enough.
With a trencher or with a ranger, Kane needs 6s to hit.
Right.
Behind the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You look vaguely disgusted about that.
Freaking trencher rangers. Stupid Doomshaper.
Yeah.
He's got Iron Fang pikeman stats, basically.
What? Iron Fang pikeman can't transfer.
Okay,
Chad.
all right. All right.
Look, he's Nigel's greatest trophy as far as caster kill is concerned.
What? Do you want a drink? What are you talking about? Want a drink? Sure. Yeah, I was asking. Do you want a drink? Sure. Yeah, what do you want to drink? So I'm doing work here. Oh, I'm sorry for offering Jay the service. Go
Come on,
fuck yourself.
come here. Give me a hug. Come on, come here.
Okay.
What do you want?
So it looks like Alexia is activating here. He's sacrificing Arisen for some purpose. Not entirely sure what.
You want some beer too?
I have one. It doesn't mean I'm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Sorry about that brief interruption. We were distracted by an Irishman.
That is the drawback of having this tournament in Ireland is random Irishmen do walk by. Well, both a drawback and a blessing.
Oh, man. So I believe you were talking about Nigel's pride and joy of killing
Doomshaper, yeah.
yeah.
That's one of the hardest casters he's ever had to kill, and he wears that as a badge of pride.
Well, maybe he can call up Christian and give him some pointers here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Get the Nigel phone.
Get that Nigel phone, yeah. So,
Even so, it does. It looks like he didn't go quite with the plan that you were hoping for at the beginning of the
Right,
day with
yeah,
sending the boom howlers hard into the
into the far zone.
but
and
it's looking like that's not going to matter quite as much
Right.
because Doomshaper is too sort of timid to come into the zone
right.
anyway.
Yeah, very
so-
true. Very true.
So in that case, clouding out is probably best.
Yeah. It looks like he's got Rangers up top, Boomhaulers spread across, Alexia sort of mixed in amongst them. I see Ian and Holt on the hill up there at the top. I'm looking for other debuffers. He's got to have that might be Ragman in the far back. It's hard to tell for sure. Take another look at his list here real quick. See, he's got Ion and Holt. Ion and Holt is his only armor debuffing in this list.
That's not great versus Banishing Ward.
It's not. That's true. I can't tell exactly where Banishing Word is, but I would assume
Yeah.
it's on Mulg. There appears to be a token near him.
I might put it on the Earthborn actually.
On the
I think
Earthborn
the Earthborn is probably
is
more
more
important to preserve the armor buff.
Sure.
We're gonna go get some confirmation on where that Banishing Word is.
I still am assuming that he's going to make the play here to clear out the top zone. That's the area of least resistance. Probably try and jam up the Earthborn and Mulg with Boom Howlers. I still think that's his strongest route here, other than relying on Jay to simply make a mistake and get caught with his pants down by Epic Kane.
Does he have gun mages in his list?
I believe he does. He's got, yes. So the whole list is Squire, Hunter, full unit of the gun mages with officer, Rangers, Junior, Alexia, Boom Howlers, Forge Guard, which I didn't see on there, but I guess they're sort of mixed in the back. Oh, no, they're up with the Boom Howlers. I see them now. So Forge Guard, Ion and Holt, Epic Iris, Reinhold, Piper, and Terran De La Ravisi. Apparently, Banishing Word has not been put up at the moment. The only thing he's particularly concerned about, Banishing Word-wise, is that harm.
Right.
So,
I'm just wondering if maybe Kane and the rest of his army could make a play for clearing the top zone, and then he could start the domination train a turn earlier than Jay.
That's exactly what I
and
was
then
thinking.
he's got
is
just as many. He's got much more.
fodder to throw into the opposite
Correct.
zone.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that's absolutely the sort of play that I expect to see from the Kane 2 player here.
Maybe to counter that point, Jay is trying to bait out the feat so that he can start being much more aggressive with his caster.
That's possible.
So there's layers upon layers here.
Absolutely,
layers
absolutely.
upon
Just
layers.
layers and layers of walls there.
That's true too. So yeah.
Your beer has arrived.
All right, that should be the last of the random Irish drive-by for the moment. Christian here being very deliberate, taking quite a while, like thinking about what he's doing. Kind of looked like he went back and forth between a few different units here. Actually moving Ayana up to harm Rune Shapers, which she should be fine there, but I always have a strong hesitance to ever use her until I'm like, this is the thing that I need harmed this game, so I'm not using her to harm anything until I
Yeah.
harm that, right?
Yeah. Especially with the number of AoEs on that side of the table.
Right,
Like,
absolutely.
harm allowing the back, the back sort of guns, the rangers and the chaff kind of units to clear out those rune shapers a little bit more easily, though. Might be able to free up Kane to just kind of boost a couple of damage rolls on the mauler without having to feat.
That's true. That's true.
And then, I mean, I don't think that's going to kill it, but
No, but
for
it can,
certainly like
I can whittle it to the point
Yep.
where maybe over the course of 2 turns.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that Kane is going to.
You don't think he's going to fall for the trap?
Yeah, not. I don't think so. We'll see.
I am starting to think it was a trap. Just like, oh, don't kill my mauler with your feet over here.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and then in come Doomshaper or in come Mulligan.
Right.
And
Just like, what are you gonna do about us now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I definitely think that's a trap. I think Jay would love for that to happen. All right, so gun mages are activating. Have a little bit better chance of killing those rune shapers with the harm on the 1 unit at least.
Oh, go ahead.
I wonder if we'll see a couple thunderbolts on the mauler here just to push him out of the zone. In fact, that looks like what's happening right now. Could not quite tell. I thought he might be out, but it looks like he was just in. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. He's going to push that mauler out of the zone, and then I think he's going to work on killing off those rune shapers just to get the scoring underway. So he's got to work his way through 3 rune shapers to clear the zone here.
Oh, when I asked about the gun mages forever and a day ago, that is why
that's
I asked
why
about
you
it.
asked
That is
about it, yeah.
specifically why I asked about it.
I assumed so.
Sorry, I just had a complete, I was daydreaming. Yeah, so if he can just push that mauler out and just kill the rest of those,
Right,
yeah, I think
yeah.
the harm was actually a fine choice. Like I said, if he just saves the feet up as long as he has the feet in chamber,
Yeah.
Doomshaper is basically stuck where he is.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and then it also just gives him additional play too if he decides to go hard in with two heavies or something like that. Like it gives him some kind of an out.
Right.
So we're gonna head over to table 5 and see what's going on there while this turn sort of shakes out.
Yeah. So this is table 5. Again, Moritz with Scor 1 and Brandon Kading with Severius 1. Or 2, sorry. Severius 2. I can kind of see the Adjudicator's made it further up the table than I expected it to. I thought he was going to have it linger back.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Be interesting. I don't know if we can get confirmation. I'm going to assume that Brandon is already feated, but Scor apparently has 2 control points.
Mm.
Yeah, that top zone is going to be an issue for Brandon, I think.
Yeah. So he dominated the top zone and he killed Brandon's objective, it looks like.
That does look
Yeah.
like what happened, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking for Scor right now. I think she might be the model that's in the back of the top zone on the bottom of it. But I'm not quite sure.
He is surrounded by dudes. I don't think Judicator can do a lot of damage, but I don't think
I don't think it'll do this much.
Also, was this a feat turn for Scor? Did we get that confirmation?
I think they're checking on feats right now.
Yeah. I see a token up there next to the focus stack.
Yeah.
So
It seems likely that this is Scar's feat
yeah,
turn,
that's
which is bad news, Bears, for trying to clear this out.
so if this is Scar's feat turn, I don't know, maybe he can try and set Scar on fire with Judicator.
That's what I was going to say. Where Scor is, there's like it's not an impossible assassination. It does look like he's got to clear some models off, and that's going to be an issue under the feat turn.
If Sevy's popped his feet, maybe.
That's what I assume. Sevy has already popped his feet, but I don't know.
We're sending our
we're sending poor Clint running for us.
Yep. Looks like he's measuring right now, so he might be coming to the same conclusion that we are. I got to kill that.
Yeah.
I got to kill that bee. So he's still deciding the allocation phase, actually, Brandon. So I think he's trying to decide whether or not he's going to whether he can come up with a plan.
To assassinate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is what he's looking at here.
Yeah.
I think that's the best option for him. Okay. All right. We were unable to determine if he has popped his feet already, so.
Yeah. I'm also curious whether or not, and this is not something we need 100% confirmation on, but I'm also curious whether or not he healed Scor up with the Necrosurgeons after popping his feet. I can kind of glimpse his card, and it looks like there's not any damage marked on it. It's kind of hard to tell with the glare.
It is a little hard to tell with the glare.
But if he has not healed her up, if she's only sitting on 11 damage, then the fire roll, the potential Judicator, maybe boost damage, get
Absolutely
3 or 4 damage on her.
Absolutely.
Then the fire roll happens. That's going to be a dice -1.
Yeah.
And if she's sitting on 6 or 7 HP, like that could easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Brandon is really in the tank right now.
Yeah. I think he has to be working on an assassination.
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely. I mean, I don't see how you come back from this this table space, especially with the army that you have available to you.
Yeah. He's
So it looks like she's taken 4 damage.
okay.
So she either feated for 4, which would be a probably first in the history
The
of time.
first in the history of time. Yeah.
Or the Necrosurgeon rolled a 1.
Rolled a 1. Yeah. So that leaves her 12 boxes. She has 16 boxes, I believe.
Yep, 12.
Yeah,
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 because
so-
she's 11 when she takes the full
Right.
5.
Okay. Yep. So sitting on 12 boxes. I think Brandon has got to unpack assassination here, and he's
Sitting
probably
on
going to
12
take.
boxes looks like she's camping 4, which is not.
And then under the feet.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so that's 19, 20, 24. Dice off.
Well, the feet's +4, so it's just +8. She's
No,
a
it's
base.
+5.
Oh, the feet's up. I thought the feat was for whatever she dealt damage to herself. Oh, no, she healed for 1. Yeah. Sorry. Your whole joke earlier completely threw me off.
My mouth is agape right now.
Derp.
You are.
Derp.
This is amateur hour right
It's
here.
totally amateur hour.
Okay. So she'll be armor 24 if she's camping 4 with her feet.
Yeah.
Judicator is POW. It's 14, I think, on it based on its gun. Maybe 12.
We'll
Actually,
double check.
I think they're POW 14 sprays. Double check that.
I think they are POW 14 sprays. I think you're right about that. Like there. Okay, so the Judicator is POW 14 on the rocket pod, POW 12 on the sprays.
up to 14
With Choir, yeah.
Choir.
So 14s and 16s with
So
Choir.
dice off 10. I mean, if he can, he's got 2 chances to light her up. I mean, he's gonna have to spike.
Yeah.
You know,
If he
pretty
can,
severely.
if he can light her up, he just probably has to do a few points of damage.
Yeah, I mean that's still going to be having to roll like a 13 or a 14,
Right.
there,
Yeah.
which is pretty tall order.
I'm assuming he allocated full to the Judy. It's hard to tell if that's three stack there behind the Judicator or if that's where that's allocated. He may still be thinking as well.
He's still deciding, I believe, where he wants his allocation to go
Yeah.
and whether or not he wants to upkeep Holy Ward. If he's going to go for it, I assume he's just going to go all in.
Just go all in, yeah.
And with the glory of Death Clock, we have like 40-something minutes to wait
For him to think
this
about
decision
this,
to
yeah.
happen,
That's
you know.
absolutely true. We might have to, we might flip off and flip back when,
Once the decision's been
once
reached,
he's made a
yeah.
decision.
Yeah. I mean, here's a different question, I guess, to prolong the discussion. Is there any other way to come back?
In this game,
Yeah.
down 2 control points
I mean,
already.
he can light a ton of stuff on fire.
He can.
And apparently she's only rolled 1 on her ritual sacrifice next turn.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was incorrect.
We do not know.
She's only going to get 1 control point next turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if he can jam something, just throw away something to the zone. Maybe he has time to.
So the scenario clock is like a 2-turn clock.
Right.
Or a 3-turn clock.
It is a
but
3-turn clock.
It's
yeah.
a 3-turn clock, but I think that the game is not going to last that long.
No, I don't think so.
Especially
either.
with Banes around, surrounding
Yeah,
us. Like,
absolutely.
so I think that the scenario is actually just.
Now, I don't know what's been Fear of Godded. I'm going to guess it's the Bane Knights down here at the bottom. It looks like there is a Menoth token besides them, so I'm going to guess that's Fear of God. So that matters.
So he did upkeep
Yep,
Fear of God.
Yep. So it is Fear of God. Yep. Yep.
Yep. So he did upkeep Fear of God. He is not upkeeping Holy Ward. And then he allocated Max to the Judicator, so it gets 1 for its reliquary, and then he allocated the additional 2.
The additional 2 to it. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he can actually allocate 4 to it if he's bonded. I don't know if it's bonded. I don't know which Jack he's bonded. I guess
Good point. The list I can.
he
double
might have.
check.
He might have just bonded Blessing. So
I'll see if I can figure it out from the list. Some of them actually list what's bonded. Some of them don't on here. The Judicator is bonded. The Judicator
Okay.
is
Yeah.
bonded. Yeah. Does he have Holy Ward on himself? Is that the...
yeah. Maybe he's not going to go for an assassination.
Yeah, that's confusing. Maybe he is going to go for the light everything on fire. Maybe 3 turns is plenty of time. Maybe he just wants to do some work.
Right.
Appears he's battling now. He may have done the math and just decided the math was badly enough in his favor that he felt like he had at least an equal chance, if not better, of killing a bunch of infantry.
Very
here.
interesting. Let's see how it plays out, I guess.
Yeah.
He's moving Blessing of Vengeance up to just make a couple of attacks on some nearby Bane Knights, getting hits and kills on both of them. If he's going to continue to play the rest of the turn attrition-wise, I see him probably moving the Temple Flame Guard up and maybe doing a couple of CMAs, maybe killing 2 more Bane Knights if he gets lucky. The problem with them is going to be that they're armor 21 this turn. So it's going to be pretty difficult, but even making 4 separate attacks could not be a bad call because he could set all 4 of them on fire, and then just hope that they all burn. This is assuming that that the Temple Flame Guard had a UA, and I do believe I spot the UA in the back there. So yeah, he could just he might just want to make as many separate attacks as possible to try and spread the fire out. And then I'm guessing that he's going to want to move the Judicator down. Well, he's going to want to move the Judicator. Yeah, I would guess down to spray the Bane Knights that are occupying the lower zone, and then try and blast them out, get rid of them with his rockets. But it's tough because he also wants the Judicator to be in a position where it can get to the other zone, and Judicator's only speed 4, so it's going to be tough. All right, yep, he set a couple of Bane Knights on fire with the TFG, but didn't manage to kill any of them. Okay, I was wrong. Judicator's moving forward, and he's going to move up. He's going to try and spray that big clump of Bane Knights in front of Scor. He could also, I guess, potentially make melee attacks, although I don't think that that's the correct choice here. Well, apparently in the field, we got a report from the field. USA Stars is currently 2-2, so the remaining match will determine the winner. Yep, so whether or not it's USA Stars
hopes and dreams rest on the shoulders of Ryan Chirboga.
Yep.
All right, so he's triggered Vengeance on some Bane Knights there. Have you sort of figured out, do you think you know what his plan is? Is it just...
Yeah, I think he's just going for a straight attrition plan.
Just straight attrition plan? It seems
I think he's trying to set as many Bane Knights on fire with the
makes sense.
TFG as possible, and then
That
trying
does
to
make
do the
sense,
same
yeah.
thing with the Judicator.
Yeah. Okay, so they called over a judge here just to catch and figure out how many guys this beautiful spray template catches. So apparently Cheriboga did pull out his victory, so USA Stars wins.
Narrow win.
Narrow win, 3-2. And yes, I think that was what the cheering was.
I'm not sure everyone else heard the cheering. But.
They did. In chat, they were mentioning the clapping and
Oh,
cheering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See, I assumed the cheering was for us losing.
Yeah, because we're surrounded by. That's
Okay,
true.
all
It would have
right.
been a deafening roar in that case. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I was kind of missing on what all just got set on fire or not, but
He actually ended up killing most of the Banes that he
targeted.
targeted.
Okay.
They're armor 21 under the feet, and he's POW 14, so eights. And he boosted at least one of them, so. He's actually doing a little bit more work than I expected him to do here. Did some decent damage to that unit of Banes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so since it's not an assassination run here and we're just doing some attrition work, we're going to check in on some of the other tables.
Tune back in here in a little bit to see how this is turning out.
All right, so we're back to table 1. This is Sasha with Rd3 into Brian with Veil 2. It looks like Brian has worn his way through quite a few of the cav. I actually see maybe
See three Bane Riders.
and the Soul Hunters may be gone unless there's one hiding behind the
It's hard to tell
Kraken.
whether those are dead models or not.
True. True.
There's a Soul Hunter on the very back of the table. There's a Bane Rider on the very back of the table.
Right.
He might. I mean, it's Gorshade 3. He
Yeah,
has
those
a
very well
strong
may be his
recursion,
beacon-
but those
his
might actually
recursion
just be
beacons.
like
Yeah.
alive models.
That's
that
very
are-
true.
yeah,
That's very true.
that he's. Yep. Apparently, no control points have been scored on this game.
I'm not sure. I guess that black disc in the center of the bottom zone must just be the objective.
Yeah,
Unless you
yep,
just replaced
absolutely.
it. Replace the normal blue one with the base.
I totally forgot about Mockery of Life. I don't know how because that's like in Gorshade's entire shtick.
That's his game plan.
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was just. Look, it's been a long day. Here. All right. My brain's kind of fried.
My mouth is agape.
Shut up. Yeah, Mockery of Life obviously is going to be a big part of his game plan, and that's, so that would make sense if those models back there are actually
Or
alive models.
his yeah.
All right. Oh, we have a development on table 4.
Okay.
Looks like Jay Larson is trying to resolve a thrown Boomhowler into Kane 2, and it looks like it did impact him, knocking him down. Well, the Boomhowler made its tough check, so there you
That's
go.
was the
Step
important
number
part
1.
of this. Yeah.
Now, how much damage do we do? So it should be a POW. Well, it could either be a dice -1, or a dice +2, or a dice +3.
So it really could be anything, is what you're saying.
If it's Animist with the Stone Strength, then it's going to be a dice +3 onto an empty Cane.
That's rough. That's rough, Kane.
And if there's any Rune Shapers that have you have to go, that's pretty much game.
It's not good.
I mean, Doom Shaper could even get in there and Stranglehold if he hasn't.
Doesn't the heightened reflexes prevent you from being knocked down?
Correct, if he has cast it on himself.
Right. No, absolutely. I'm just I so frequently see it on him in
Yeah,
matchups.
nope. He's definitely knocked down.
He's definitely knocked down.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's bad news bears for Kane here.
So USA could potentially tie it up here with 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Kane is sitting on 4 boxes.
So that was
So-
definitely a raged Stone Strength.
That was definitely a rage
Yeah.
stun strength throw. Yeah.
Good old POW 16. Sorry, bear with us for a second. Some dinner announcements. You see Jay's feet token?
I do.
Oh, I love it.
Such feet, such wow.
Oh, well, that's Grumpy Cat.
Oh, is it Grumpy Cat? I thought it
Yeah.
was. I thought it was the Doge.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Grumpy Cat's good too.
We do not need confirmation.
No,
on
we're
that.
pretty sure it's Grumpy Cat. Thank you.
So with
Yeah.
Doomshaper's feet as well, that's going to mean Kane can't really shake his knockdown.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
That's
he's
assuming
pretty
he,
much
that's
stuck
assuming
there.
he lives to that point.
that's true. That's true.
He's not stuck there. He's got Gate Crash.
Yeah, which you definitely want to
Oh, yeah.
cast on Doomshaper's feet.
Does it check
you have 4 hit
it
points
checks
left.
when you spend, right? Not
It
when-
happens before you spend.
Before you spend,
Or,
okay.
well, after you spend,
Yeah.
but before the spell resolves.
So gate crashing out of the zone doesn't prevent him from, or out of the
Gate crashing out of the zone
out of
almost
the feet.
immediately kills him.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just sacrifice his action.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you want to do with Kane.
That is what you want to do with Kane.
It may be a moot point. We'll have to see here if
Correct, yeah.
if old 4-box Kane manages to.
Yeah, Mulg's trying to clear some guys out for some Rune Shapers, it looks like. Oh, and he gets a crit with Mulg's club, so that Boomhowler. So both of those Boomhowlers are going to be knocked down, which is
Indeed.
going to definitely give a lane for that Rune Shaper right there to walk
Yep,
through
to
there
walk
and
up,
maybe
yep.
nail Kane in the face with a Rock Hammer. So we could be looking at, if that Rune Shaper hasn't gone yet, we could be looking at a
Rock hammer to the face.
a USA win here very shortly.
I think Kane's gonna get hammered. Yow!
Okay. You proud of yourself?
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself.
Goad moving forward, just try and do more attrition work on the chance
that work.
Yeah, on the chance
Yeah.
that this assassination fails.
Yeah. It looks like the Kane player was attempting to play that plan, like come up, dominate, get ahead, and that's why he's towed into the back of that zone there.
Yeah, which is the plan that we.
It's the plan I think was right plan.
Yeah. I think maybe try and focus on pushing that Mauler
Mauler a
little
little
bit
further away, yeah.
Or maybe just going with the feet was the right call. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it
I
could
don't
have
know.
been.
Well, Mulk's got to really kill that Boomhowler now, though. Now that he's kind of blocked off the. Like this is all under the assumption that that Rune Shaper is
Hasn't
not
gone
fleeing and is.
Yeah. Capable
hasn't
of
done-
actually taking an action
Yeah.
at this turn.
If it's already gone, then he's just trying to kill as much stuff
Right,
as possible.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Maybe he's just hoping to good Mulg up where he can primal shock Kane.
That'd be Doom Shaper 2.
That
And
it would
also,
be.
Doom
That would
Shaper
be
is
Doom
already
Shaper.
gone, which
Also,
is-
Doom Shaper's
yeah,
already
yeah.
gone, yeah. So none of those things will work.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, he could potentially goad up and like slam. That'd be a weird. You'd have to get a very precise angle to slam that Risen, I think, into Kane. But trying to decide how full on Fury he wants to go here. So, 2 more tough checks on that Boomhowler. That's knocked down. He spent his last Fury to make the final attack, and then his Affinity with Doom Shaper allows
Affinity,
him to
yep.
make a free attack. So Boomhowler toughen it out. So hopefully that Rune Shaper has already gone. I would assume so at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that case, if Kane's not going to die this turn, being on 4 HP, I think that does probably significantly impact the way that he plays for the rest of the game. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
He's got to be very, very cautious of additional, throws and even like strangleholds, from Doom Shaper himself.
He absolutely is. It's a D6 for each Fury spent. Is that correct?
Focus and Fury spent.
Yeah. Okay. Or that's what I meant. Focus and Fury. Yeah. Just trying to figure out a way if Kane can just go for an assassination on Doomy under the, but I don't think so.
Oh, not on his feet.
Yeah,
turn.
yeah,
No, absolutely
yeah.
not. Like maybe if Doom Shaper is camping 0, and Kane feats, and then rolls a 1 on all of the dice to damage himself for all of the,
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the 3 shots for free, I guess.
That's true.
So, but Mole gets the protective fit
Also true.
for each of those. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I think Doom Shaper is safe for this turn, unless. Unless the gun mages or something can do it,
Yeah. It looks like Doom Shaper may be on the 0 camp.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Rune Shaper's just doing a little work, little attrition work, killing some Rangers. So Doom Shaper's positioning is actually interesting since he's already activated. I'm assuming he's where he is because he wanted to catch Kane in the feet, but he's also sacrificing scoring a point.
Yeah, I think at this point he's so far ahead in the, or he's so the attrition play is
So far ahead in his favor.
that it doesn't really, the scenario points I think are just going to be kind of a moot point.
Yeah, you're probably very right.
You use the scenario points after the attrition, he can maybe back Kane, or Doom Shaper up next turn once the scenario, or once the attrition is really locked down.
Yeah.
And then just start scoring the scenario just to force the hand, force the issue. Yeah, camping 0 is a little scary.
Yeah.
Kane could maybe do something like back up, and then magic bullet himself 3 times and shoot once he's outside of the feet range.
Right. Yeah.
Magic bullet himself 3 times and then shoot something and bounce it.
Well, he's knocked down, so he.
Right. And he'd have to shake, I guess, and go for the 50-50 of not, or it's a
It's
little
actually
bit better
worse.
than a 50-50.
Well, he's sitting on. Oh, he's sitting on 4. Yeah.
So he'd basically lose the game on a tough check. I mean, he can also cast Magic Bullet on something else.
Very true.
He could just back up and cast it on the Rangers or something like that.
Very true. Doomy is arm 18 with the stone.
19. I'm sorry, 17, but 19 if he puts the Animus on himself. So it would be dice minus 5, I guess, if there were no
Yeah, not great.
Animus. Yeah, it's really not great.
3 unboosted dice minus 5s.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I stand corrected in the chat. You're correct, yes. If he has 4 left, it's exactly 50-50. I was doing it inverse for some reason.
Yeah,
But no, yes, he will die on a result of a 4, 5, or a 6.
correct. But he certainly doesn't have to shake if he's casting Magic Bullet on something else, so...
Yep.
I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Oh, it was just another Rune Shaper.
Yeah, just a Rock Hammer
Yep.
on a knockdown model.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Kane to do anything this turn. He might be able to still charge Mulg with 2 or 3
Dwarves.
dwarves.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, was what he could do about Mulg this turn. I'm trying... Ayana's still there.
Yep.
So a harm.
With a harm, and then charge him, with some boom howlers, charge him with some dwarves.
Like, you could ding him up pretty,
back Kane
pretty
up
well.
a little bit, and then,
Yeah.
well, I guess you can't shoot then at that point, but...
I was trying to think what the range on Thunderstrike is, because that's always a possibility.
Kane 2 does not have Thunderstrike.
Oh, that's Kane 1?
Yeah.
All these casters and all their spells.
That's what I'm here for, Josh.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he just doesn't have anything great for dealing with Mulg other than his feet and guns.
Yeah, which is not going to fly this turn.
No.
Unless he goes for the 50-50. And then, I don't know.
So what is he? Is this the Earthborn that's moving up there by Mulg? Yeah, okay. So now it's much harder for the dwarves to get in there with multiple.
Yeah.
We can go for the Earthborn, I suppose.
So now, is Janissa going to drop a wall to protect them, or is she going to...
Drop a wall to protect Doomy.
Yeah. Actually, I don't see Janissa anywhere.
Yeah, maybe she got scalpeled out with a magic bullet or something.
Yeah. He's doing another 2-handed throw on another boom howler.
All right, so maybe trying to finish Kane off this way.
Nope, he's just going to throw it at that other boom howler.
Okay,
Just trying to do more work, I guess.
sure.
Setting it up for next turn.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty fall here.
So while we're waiting for this to resolve, can we go maybe back and check in on Brandon Kading?
Yeah, let's take a look
I'm-
and see what he's
yeah.
got going on here. He is pinched even harder than before.
And Scor is even farther back.
Yeah, she is. I'm going to assume that Scor may be at 3 control points now. Maybe we can get a check on that.
We're going to go get an update.
So again, this is Moritz with Scor 1 and Brandon Kading with Severius 2.
Brandon is doing quite a good job at actually attritioning out.
Yes,
after
he
this
is.
Team Force. I was
He
not
is.
expecting this.
The fact that the Adjudicator is still alive is a testament to the list and Brandon. And okay, so apparently Jay may have just
Oh my God, the worst.
won right after we switched over.
What did we miss?
So I'm going to guess that the throw ended up impacting Kane somehow. So there was a line of sight and a rune shaper.
Yeah, so that rune shaper that we were talking
about
it had not activated.
It had not. We just assumed it had.
Well, because I assumed he would have gone with it way earlier.
Way earlier.
Okay.
Apparently, he decided to play the rest of his turn first and just troll us all.
Oh my
troll
God,
us all
Jay.
real good.
We're gonna have to have words about
He
this
grumpy
afterwards.
catted the Jesus out of
Okay,
us.
sorry guys.
Yeah, sorry for that, guys.
He just slow rolled us.
He did.
basically.
So if you, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So if you
right.
want to see that rock hammer throw, you'll have to go to the archives. Kane got hammered. Covered that earlier. All right.
Yeah. So this is now we did tie it up with 1-1.
So now it is 1-1 Germany and America.
Yeah. So we're
So we're
three
back
more.
over to Brandon here.
All right. What a bad timing that was.
Such bad timing.
Incredible. I was like, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I thought that rune shaper had already gone. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're good.
Okay.
So back to Brandon.
All right. Did we confirm whether or not it's the control points are 3-0 Scor or? Oh, okay. All right. So we're still finding out about. Still. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the stream jump.
You had one job.
Yeah.
Look, I assume you go with that guy first. He had line of sight like way earlier.
I
than
know.
that.
Why
Like,
wouldn't he just go and throw the rock
yeah,
hammer?
right? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever. So Jay got us real good.
He got us real good.
Now we are back to Brandon and Moritz. And again, we're double checking
Because
on
when Kane is
points.
because when Kane is camping 0, knocked down within range of a POW 14 at 4 hit points, you want to make sure you do as much attrition work as possible
You absolutely do.
in the rest of the game.
You absolutely do.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jay. All right, so Scor is still sitting on just 2 control points. So Brandon apparently successfully contested on the last turn, and the Scor player has yet to clear the zone and score another point.
I can't tell whether this is the Adjudicator's activation or an ancillary attack, but Adjudicator's incredible in some games. It turns out.
Yeah, it's done a bucket load of work.
I don't know how it's lived.
I don't
I
either.
don't.
Yeah,
But
I mean, Fear of God has helped a lot.
yeah, that's true. Actually,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That spell is very strong.
Oh, Brandon is just grinding it down. I'm curious what his clock is actually.
He
He spent a long time in the tank.
He did. That's very true. That's very true. But it appears to have been time well spent.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's getting that Adjudicator just into that zone so Scor can't score anymore.
Oh, this is exactly what he needs.
Yeah. This is, when we looked at this a couple turns ago, we didn't think this is what he had to do to play this game, but we didn't think it was possible.
Right.
So
It didn't look possible.
It didn't look possible.
But I mean, like I said, those models were bunched up enough that
Yeah.
like an Adjudicator is it's nothing but AOE damage.
Right.
Sprays, AOEs,
Yeah.
bouncing multiple times.
Absolutely.
And, high POW.
It looks like he just unhorsed Dara Wraith, I think.
That's good. I mean, that's not the. I don't think Dara Wraith is the most impactful for this matchup.
No, probably
But
not.
that's
And
I mean,
especially not at
you
this
certainly
point,
kill
but-
him if you can.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Yep, and we just want to reiterate to everyone that's watching that all of these games are being recorded separately. So the stream is going to be uploaded, and you can watch that again if you'd like. And also, if you would like to watch any of these individual games to catch the things that we missed and see them in their entire uncut duration, we're going to be uploading all of the games individually as well. So look forward to that. So now that Adjudicator is towed in on that zone, and it looks like Scor is, Scor is far enough away to not be a danger to it. And he's got his Reckoner in his other zone. I don't know if he's activated the Reckoner yet, but if he hasn't, he can certainly go in and clear off some of the additional, Banes down there.
We can actually see under Brandon's arm that Adjudicator grid. It's pristine.
It's almost untouched.
It almost is untouched, which is going to be it's a monstrous problem for for Moritz right now.
Yeah, I definitely am curious. Can we get eyes on Brandon's clock? Because I think that's going to be
the deciding factor.
I think that's going to be the way for Moritz to win now. I know that he was definitely
he
was
definitely
deep in the
tanked
tank
for a while.
so.
Yeah.
Moritz is expressing some frustration at not being able to.
All right, so Brandon has 11 minutes left on his clock. Moritz has plenty, about 25 or so. So the question is whether or not Brandon can finish this game in 11. I think 11 minutes should be plenty for him.
I think that should be enough if he plays quickly.
Yes.
And it depends too, though. I mean, Moritz can take a. Well, it's just Adjudicator is going to be the problem because I said he can make Brandon's turns take plenty of time spreading his guys all around, in the zone and everything, making him take the maximum amount of time possible to finish off those units and really start the pressure back on.
Very true.
And I think that is the correct play for him. Unfortunately, I hate when the game just goes to playing towards the clock.
But I think that's what he's got to do at this point.
But he can't. Yeah, you can't go up against Adjudicator with just your. I mean, if it was within charge range of Scor right now, she might be able to just go in there and finish it off.
Maybe.
She has 11 focus this
She
turn.
does. She hits, and she hits relatively hard.
Pretty hard.
Yeah.
So with Life Trader, she can be effectively a weapon master on all of her attacks, or at least on the Takarix anyway.
Right. Yeah.
But with that forest back there and it towed in on the opposite corner of her, she's not even in range of trying that Hail Mary strategy.
Yeah.
This is where the Crix list's kind of the lack of a Mechanothrall recursion engine kind of shows how they slow down, in the late game.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Well, this has always been the complaint against Scor, right? She does one thing and she does it super well, but when that one thing doesn't work, she just runs at you and punches.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like when that's her only strategy, it's not like she has a lot of late game strategy to fall back on when she gets behind.
So yeah, I think we're basically just looking at Brandon needs to play as quickly as possible now and just try and
absolutely
really finish this out. And we see him doing exactly, he's going to try and run his models. He's going to spread them out. He's going to try and make Brandon take as much time as possible.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully also, kill as many models, because every additional model that Brandon doesn't have to try and clear out.
Yeah, it makes it.
If he has to try and do the entire game, remainder of this game with just the Adjudicator, I think he could if he had infinite time.
But it's much harder.
Yeah, it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot longer.
So interesting that Scor is actually coming out from behind that forest.
Well, when you're camping 11, you feel pretty good.
That's fair.
He is doing the math right now, though, of how much he can spend safely. So Adjudicator is up to POW 22 with battle. And Scor is camping up to 26 right now.
Yeah.
So I think he
can't spend any focus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if Adjudicator gets on Scor, he could actually still die.
Yeah, absolutely.
With camping 11. But I think that it at least protects him from the guns.
Yes, very much so.
Although she could again be set on fire.
She can.
Especially with ancillary attack, I would definitely just sacrifice one of my sprays just to
try and
light her up.
Light her up.
I guess it depends on how much other things are pressuring her right now. So
sure.
Moritz went ahead and shifts the clock back. Moritz took a very quick turn.
Yes, he did. Well, he's down to very few.
So now let's see whether Brandon can keep up the pace.
Yeah.
I think he's just got to keep allocating to Adjudicator. Keep Sevi as safe as you can.
Yeah.
And then just start grinding it down. You
just
have to. This is the point in the game where the decision that you make actually doesn't really matter
as much as the fact that you're doing something.
Correct.
Yeah. So it appears
Yeah.
like both jacks are loaded for bear.
Yep. So he puts 3 on the Judicator, giving it 4 with Reliquary,
Mm-hmm.
and then filled up the Reckoner with 3 as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just again, just make the decisions and make them
Yep.
quick.
Just go, do some work, kill some things.
He's trying to decide whether he wants to sing battle or not. And he goes with shielding, which is the no spells, I believe.
What do you think he's worried about spell-wise here?
I don't know, maybe Hellfire. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of. She got Blood Rain, or
She's
is
got
that
Hellfire, Blood Rain,
yeah?
Backlash.
Backlash, maybe.
Backlash.
That could be.
Yeah,
potentially- yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, backlash.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if he rolls like a 5 or a 6 on his ritual sacrifice, that could be like 12 damage just from backlash.
From
I mean,
backlash,
Sevi doesn't
yeah.
have that much.
No,
HP,
yeah,
you know?
very true. Very true.
So I think we found it.
yeah,
I think we found
yeah.
it. And I think the Scarlock can cast it too. I think it's a
Backlash. I
yeah,
think so.
It's a
I think so.
3 banger.
I
or
believe
2
it's.
banger.
I think it's 3 or less.
Yeah.
So there's no way it's a 4-cost spell.
We're going to switch over really quickly because we just had an update in one of our other games. It looks like Vale is about to get charged by a Kraken.
This is Sasha with Rd 3 versus Brian with Vale 2.
Yep.
And
So that is a Kraken right there, right in
Get-
Vale's face.
Getting all up in Vale's face. She's protesting that she's immune to cold, but the Kraken doesn't care.
I mean, the Kraken might care if it misses 5 attacks. She's only like death 15 though, so
Fair enough. All right.
I'm guessing she's tenacity, so it's going to be.
Vale is sitting on 2 transfers, and it does appear to be she does appear to be tenacity.
So apparently Ragman death fielded as well, but I gotta think that if this actually hits Vale, it looks like he might actually just be going for the War Beasts.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
does
what's Vale
indeed.
going to do to a Kraken?
Nothing.
She's not the
She's
butcher.
going to do literally nothing to
Yeah.
a Kraken. She's going to bang her Oraculous off of it.
Yeah, obliterated a couple times,
Yeah. Just
just to make it
'cause.
easier on him next turn. So with death field and him gaining strength from all of these kills, this is
Yeah.
going to be.
It's going to be pretty brutal.
I mean, it might be all War Beasts dead.
Yeah, Yeah, because he can get on all 3 of them. The one he killed already with that 4-inch reach,
Yeah,
he can
it's
easily
just
get back to
limited
that
by
other
the
Ravagor.
It's just limited by the focus you
Yeah,
can spend.
yeah. All right, so that's
Yep,
2
so
dead.
Another Ravagor. He's up to dice plus 6, I think.
Yeah, meat fueled.
Oh well,
That's a
bad damage roll,
bad
but it's
damage
still
roll.
like 9 damage.
Yeah,
8 or 9 damage. I don't know if it's plus 5 or plus 6. It was full on corpses before, so it's still plus 5. So that
Okay.
was an 8 damage.
did not quite kill the third beast there.
And he didn't take his kill shot. Mistake.
Aha. Quite.
I'm not sure what he would have done. I mean, I guess shot the pot.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't want to make a stinger or something.
Right.
I'm trying to find out where Gorshade is.
That's what I'm looking for too.
He might be
He's-
behind that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a proxy base behind the house. That's going to be.
Probably Gorshade
We
there.
just
Yep,
got-
with
we
all the
just got
focus on it. Yep,
confirmation,
yep.
That looks pretty. That looks pretty impregnable.
Pretty safe.
Yeah.
Fortress Gorshade.
Yeah. Chateau Gorshade.
Chateau. He's French. All right, so back to table 2. This is the Robert with Bradigus and Jeremy Lee with Asphyxius 3 matchup. And there's quite a few less models than there were the last time we checked in here. It does not look like there's probably there's at least 1 point scored because one of the objectives is gone. Looks like Robert's objective is no longer on the table.
Yeah, I'm just trying to parse what's actually going on with this game.
Right.
It's kind of difficult. So he's clearly trying to charge something right now with Asphyxius. And then he popped his feet, so he's going to be... Wow, that's a long time to wait for your feet.
Yeah,
Right.
particularly in this matchup, right?
But I mean, I don't know.
Like, the longer he waits to pop the feet, the less return he's going to get out of it.
Now
I
the
mean, that's
question
true
is
of a
the
lot of
feet going to
feats,
be
but-
enough to prevent him from dying to the massive synergy chain?
Well,
Because
apparently,
I can still count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 battle group models, potentially. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I was counting. Some of those were Blood Gorgers.
Blood Gorgers. It's hard to separate.
So 1, 2. I see
1, 2.
Wold Watcher in the
Yep, I see that World Watcher on the hill.
close zone.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the one in the
One
middle.
in the middle, one in the top zone, and then a Wold Guardian.
Yeah, I think we're talking 4 battle group models left for
No,
Bradigus.
that's not a Wold Guardian. That's Bradigus.
Okay, so I think we're talking 3 battle group models in Bradigus.
Wow, Jeremy just ground this one down. This is
He
going to
really
be a good
did.
one to watch
Yeah.
if you like.
If you like really deep attrition matches.
Right.
Also, I want to apologize. Apparently, this player's name, the German player's name is Robin, not Robert. The chat corrected me on that. I recorded the name wrong. My apologies. His name is Robin.
I'm kind of curious to see how much fury or how much focus
He ends up with.
he ends up with after this turn. How
Yeah.
many souls he can get. Oh, is that a Wold Watcher as well on this right side here, above Dara?
I believe it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
because he just
4.
pulled from it. So,
So
yeah.
with 4, what's Bradigus base POW? 13?
I
I think they're 13 on both
think it's
range and
13.
melee.
I believe it's 13.
Getting up to 17 is probably not going to be enough when every fury you spend
yeah.
heals a D3.
Yeah.
And it's going to be also POW 17. It would be dice minus 6 at a full camp. I'm not sure he is at a full camp.
Bradigus is base 13, so
It looks like he
it
might
looks
be.
like he's only camping 4.
That might be a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he had to use some of the focus to.
The
Said-
feat is, it essentially is a +3 armor though, or it's a plus D3 armor, I should say. Effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get, so the chat's asking us, and I'm actually kind of curious too, is there any way we can switch back and get an update on the Kading game? The Brandon game?
All right, so we're going to check in on Sevi 2 and Scor 1, Moritz and Brandon.
Brandon's still rolling. All of the models are cleared out from the bottom zone, it looks like.
Yep.
He's doing it. He's doing it. I mean, this is just his clock is what we need.
What win? Yeah. We're going to get an update on the clock here in just a moment.
Just killed the objective.
So Brandon has 4 minutes left. He's cleared the objective, and he is firing rockets into Scor.
Did you say 4 minutes left?
4 minutes left.
That is not a lot of time.
It's not, but he doesn't have a lot to worry about anymore.
Yeah. Is this is this a protectorate model down here in the bottom left corner of that zone on the bottom?
It's hard to tell.
I guess it doesn't really matter unless Savarius is in the zone.
Right,
Uh,
because you can only dominate that zone.
Yeah. So Brandon ships the clock over and resolves fire on Scor. And he looks like he rolled pretty good.
All right,
Scor
so
takes 6 from being
Scor
on
takes
fire.
6. She's very damaged, it looks like. Most of that card appears to be black. It's a little hard with the glare, but...
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a lightning fast game at this point.
Yeah. and
Unless,
this-
I guess, I mean, Moritz actually has
Moritz has plenty of
quite
time.
a bit of time to go
Yeah,
into the
he
tank
has
himself
plenty of
if
time,
he wants
yeah,
to. So.
if he wants to try and figure out some Hail Mary play here.
Yeah. I think
So Scor has taken 9, which means she's on roughly 7.
exactly
She's
7.
a 16. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We established that earlier. Yep.
And that's interesting. I think shielding was actually the right call then. Just not to give any just not to
Any
give
like
anything.
any outs
Yeah,
of any
no
kind.
outs.
Yeah.
So I think it's just Scar and a Scarlock left.
I believe that is all he has left. There might be something up.
And she's currently charging the Judicator, so she's getting in there with her Tacharix.
She's gotta get it done.
It's gotta get it done. I mean, if he can roll it and still camp a decent amount, if he can somehow blow this out of the water and still camp a decent amount,
Yeah.
then that might be enough.
Yeah, that's an extremely unlikely. We're talking scenarios where it's
very
just sixes
unlikely.
and sixes and sixes for days on dice.
And then I want to see it. I want Sevi to get in there with Creator's Wrath
Yeah.
and just
Yes.
make it happen.
Yes, I want
That
to
would
see
be
that
the
as well.
best. That's what I want.
I'm sending Psychic Emanation Brandon's way.
Uh,
Creator's Wrath. Creator's Wrath.
That's right. Kill Scar and then dominate to win. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep,
That's the path to
absolutely.
victory. Oh, there's a Scarlock preventing that from happening.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Looks like she's life trading.
Yeah, which is actually, that fire roll is going to be a big problem for that.
Yeah,
Because she
yeah.
doesn't have enough life left
Right.
to boost all of her attacks with Tacker
Right.
or with Life
yeah,
Trader.
very true. Very true.
And then also Scar on 1.
Yeah.
Like, Creator's Wrath. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's basically super happening.
It's super happening.
Good. I want to just say props to Brandon. Then.
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought this
very
game was-
impressed.
I was like, this game is done.
He was surrounded. I didn't think he had much of a chance.
We've got some good games.
Yeah, we have.
recorded.
We've gotten some great games through the course of the day today.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it just goes to show you when you take this caliber of player,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
you're going to come up with. I mean, if you take this caliber of player times this many people,
Yeah.
you know,
You're just
going
going
to
to
get
get
some.
just great games. Oh,
And he
here
decided
comes
to
the
camp.
Scarlock.
He decided to camp with Scar and not
Yeah.
go for the, which
Yeah.
I think is probably the right call,
Yeah.
considering he has to go down to 1 if he wants to do any amount of damage.
Right, absolutely.
Which I think the Judicator just still pummels her to death here.
Most likely. She's camping what appears to be 10.
Yep.
So she's at 26?
25.
25. Okay. Judicator hits about 22. Seems pretty foregone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially she's only got 7.
Yeah.
So basically punch her twice.
Yeah.
He's
Brandon
going to do
is-
it in 3 minutes, though.
Yeah, he does have to do it in 3 minutes, which means he needs to activate. There he goes. Activate the choir. Get it battled.
This is where that bond is really going to come in handy, too, because he can boost.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
4 focus.
Absolutely.
He's going to actually just try and power strike her to knock her down. That's the better play.
Good call.
Yep.
Oh, he's power striking something in front of Scar, I think.
Yep. Yeah, he
Something
ran
was-
a model.
Yeah.
I think he had a choir
Yeah,
walk
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So now he should have
He can
3 dice minus 3s.
buy, boost, and oh yeah, 3 dice minus 3s is better probably. Yep, there we go.
That goes it. Like that
Takes him
seals
down.
it for Brandon. That was a good game.
It was
That
a
an
great
incredible
game.
So that brings the U.S. to 2 and Germany still at 1.
Correct.
So it,
So okay, so we're back to table 1. Sasha with Gorshade 3, Brian with Veil 2. Right now, Veil 2. So Veil 2 has 3 control points. Can we verify? So Veil has 3 control points. If she can clear out the top zone and dominate, she wins. So apparently, Angelius got into that top zone to clear some stuff up, and ended up getting
free struck by Warwitch Siren and
Shadowbound. Crit Shadowbound.
Well, just Shadowbound.
Well, okay. Oh yeah, it's not crit. Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Shadowbound not as good as it used to be, but it still works on free
Still
strikes.
works on free strikes just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so
So it looks like he failed to clear the zone.
failed to
out.
clear the zone.
Yep. Which this has got to be game.
Yeah,
This
I
has got
can't
to be
imagine
game for Germany.
I can't imagine Veil winning here.
Yeah,
Or Veil
a
living through this.
Kraken, a fully loaded Kraken with corpses and everything, all getting on.
Yeah, she's camping 3, it appears.
Right. I mean, he might even just kill the. He might just kill the Ravagore then and just try and.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I think that the Ravagore is pretty hurt.
I mean, it's the Kraken, and then Gorshake can just come around the backside, right? Like,
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, she's pinched between the two deadliest parts.
He doesn't even have to walk
of,
around the
Sasha's
house.
army.
He could just go straight through it.
Yeah.
'cause he's ghosted.
Oh yeah. Right. True that. So
All right,
looks like he's
Scarlock
putting
cast
an
Infernal
Machine up
Yep.
on the Kraken.
Oh, and he's going to throw Stitch Thrall at Vale.
So clearly,
Yep, Gorshade's definitely coming in.
here
He's
comes
getting in.
Gorshade. Ghost Horse.
So Vale takes a bunch of damage. Looks like she's only got 2 left after that throw.
Yeah. So this
Here
is gonna
come-
be
Yeah, I mean, he's going to walk as close as possible and try to melee her, otherwise it's going to be Siphon Bolt.
right.
Uh,
Is his melee weapon actually a cold-based weapon?
no, there's no melee. There's no.
No,
there's
there is no melee
there's no typed,
typing.
melee
That's right. That's
damage,
right.
yep.
There is no typed melee damage. That's right.
Those frickin' Stitch Thralls doing work even after
Even after their
everything is.
yeah.
Jeez. I do like the power attacking with the Colossal, though, especially a 4-inch.
Yeah,
That's.
absolutely.
I like to see. I like to see that. I'm glad we've seen a couple of good games with that, featuring that.
So we actually have had. This will be 4 games and on assassination in this round.
Yeah.
All 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, Brandon probably could have won on scenario if he had a little bit more time. Maybe even didn't really need more time. But effectively the game's fun
Right,
on
right,
assassination. Yeah.
And this is going to tie it up for the series, leaving Germany with 2 and USA
Yes.
with 2.
So it'll be down to Robin and Jeremy Lee.
We're going to have. They're forcing us to watch the Radagast match.
Game. No.
Oh,
Every time.
thanks, Obama.
Irish Obama.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. The angel. We just missed the angel dying, but that's gonna limit his transfer targets
Right,
as well.
yeah.
So I mean, he got to reave all the fury off of it, but now he's got half as many transfer targets.
All right. So here comes Ghost Horse.
I mean, yeah, she's super dead. He casts a Siphon Bolt for free from
His
gets a spell for free
right. Yeah.
thing.
That rule, the rule he has. Yeah, the chat corrected us. It's Thingsobovnik. We forgot.
Oh no! Oh. All right, and that's game.
And that's game. So
I
that
think
is
it's mathematically impossible
for
for
Vale
Vale
to live through that. Yeah. So that is Sasha, victory to Sasha, and a 2-2 split, Germany and U.S. So back to the last match, table 2, Robin with Bradagus and Jeremy Lee with Asphyxius 3. Each player has 2 control points. Can we get a check on the total clock or on the clock time for both?
Yeah. I am also curious how many souls he got. This is very exciting, by the way. Whoever wins this.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh man! Apparently, there's a very large crowd gathering on the stage for it.
Yeah, so you guys may hear quite a few cheers in the background. This is, I think, probably one of the final matches of the round going. Okay, Crix has a little more time. Robin has Jeremy Lee has a little more time on his clock, but they're both roughly in the 10-minute range.
Yeah, it really looks like Radagast is running out of resources here.
It does absolutely look like that. I do wonder how many we'll never know now, I guess, how many focus Asphyxius got on this V-turn.
We could always watch these games.
That's
afterwards.
true. That's true.
I bet it was a bunch. I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
I think it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Oh yeah, I suppose we could just look for the stacks of tokens. That's like how many models he's got, right?
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah, so I see 2 Wold Watchers and Bradigus, Big Bad Brad,
yeah.
up in the zone. I mean, the thing is, like, Circle, you can always just kind of throw that cannon fodder in with those shifting stones. Like,
Absolutely.
You can get them way back in the behind
Yeah,
army.
looks like he's still got a couple mannequins up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So, I mean, he can make it a pain for Jeremy to keep scoring points. I just think, from the way that the table looks, if they're both tied, it looks like Jeremy will. It looks like Jeremy will run out of models slower.
yeah. One possible advantage to Robin here is that Jeremy's objective still exists. So that is a point. If he can engineer a way to blow it up,
you're right.
that's a point that he can kill and get ahead on the
Yep.
on the scenario play.
That would put him ahead on the clock.
Right,
essentially,
the
clock of
scenario
victory.
clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize how good of a drop Gatsby 3 was into Bradigus.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah. It
surprisingly,
appears
I
to
guess,
be quite-
mobility. It makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mobility, really good feed against that.
Against
versus
that type of list.
list.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then just generally,
I suppose Ashen Veiled not that great, but you
no,
know,
I mean Ashen Veil and Carnage not that great, but
yeah,
the rest of what Crix does
is good.
right.
Is naturally good against what Bradigus does if you can enable them to get in.
just having a caster that can have that much presence.
Right.
is
Yeah,
very-
particularly against
yeah.
Bradigus, you have to be concerned about coming to kill you. So,
Right.
Yeah.
See, I'm not sure how he's down to like. I mean, he's still got a good amount of models left because of, you get 3 units of shifting stones,
Right. Right.
but he's only down to like 3 models that can actually make 2 models that can
You
actually,
make attacks. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's just that's
A lot of
tall
this
order.
is a lot of this is going to be how much work can Brad do? How much work does Brad do by himself?
I mean, a lot,
Yeah. Right.
right?
Yeah.
But like not probably enough to and also be safe,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So-
I mean, where he's sitting right now, like the question basically is, can Brad continue to clear out his zone, right? And then maybe make a play on the objective at some point. Is that something that he can do
He could. He's got that rate of fire 3 gun.
with beatback on it? So he
Right.
can even come a little out of the zone and beat himself back into the zone to score the, like a
Yeah.
final 2 points
Oh,
on the
yeah,
last
yeah.
turn.
I think he would have to because its range is short.
Yeah, I think it's only range 8, if I remember correctly. Oh, I have Bradigus pulled up. It is range 8.
Yeah. Did we get? Can we get confirmation too? Did Jeremy go to 3 CPs when he ended his turn? So it would be 3-2 right now, I believe.
We believe.
if that is the case.
It's hard to tell for sure whether or not there was, but I don't think that
There's
there is.
it's such a cluster F of models.
Yeah.
So you see, he shifted 2 stones down into the 3 stones
Yep.
down into the bottom scenario. I mean, Gatsby kills stones trivially with
Trivially.
his POW 15,
Yes,
POW
yeah.
16.
Swizzles them.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, still 2-2 right
Apparently
now.
he failed to clear out the shifting stone last turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Robin may actually be slightly advantaged here on the scenario clock. I can't tell what that model is that is in the top zone. That's not a mannequin or a stone or Bradigus.
Oh, it's a sentry stone.
It is a sentry stone.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bradigus should have gone to 3 control points here, correct?
Yes. Yep. Asphyxius just himself clears out all of the stones.
Yep.
Now I assume he's going to try and run as many things into that zone.
Right.
Well, not as many things, I guess, because of the way that the stones can spread out and teleport over.
Yeah.
So Asphyxius won't be able to, if he teleports them, spreads them out. Like Asphyxius won't be able to kill all 3 of them on his own.
Right. So he does need some backup. Are all the wolves dead? No, there's one left, right?
I got to read this comment. Necromerlid. Congrats to Jeremy and Robin for finding a way to make a Bradigus game exciting to watch. Fantastic.
True story. True story.
They said it couldn't be done.
Last we checked, Crix was slightly ahead. Jeremy Lee was slightly ahead on clock, but they're very close.
And their turns are going blazing fast at this
Yeah.
point.
It is currently 3-2 scenario points in favor of Bradigus.
Yeah, I think you're right. We could see Bradigus come forward.
Yeah.
Try and like beat back and rift that objective down,
and then get back into the zone.
yeah,
with his beat.
and then that would cause him to win.
right
in one turn.
In one turn, yeah. I wonder if Jeremy Lee is thinking about protecting his objective in any way.
I think if I had to guess, that he is positioning to.
7 minutes for Jeremy Lee, 5 minutes for Bradigus, and Robin with Bradigus.
I think that he's positioning to try and limit the number of models that can port into the zone, so that maybe next turn he can just, if he can clear them all out, he can just run as many things as possible into the other zone.
Is that a living wold there?
That might be a Wold Watcher, yeah.
Yeah, so which makes it even easier to remove, potentially. It depends on what his damage grid looks like. He may be beat up very badly.
Also, they're only pot 12. Yep, they're currently 3-3, and the time has been shipped over back to Robin with a slight time advantage to Jeremy.
No, Jeremy Lee has 7 minutes. Robin has 5.
Yes, a slight
Oh,
time
slight
advantage
time.
to Jeremy.
I understand.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So clearing the zone is clearing the zone and destroying the objective may be too much for Bradigus to do in a single turn here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he should have maybe gone with the Stickmans first.
Perhaps seen what he could get as far as the sprays are
Just
concerned.
maybe try and get lucky with them.
Yeah.
They also get to boost if they have any Fury on the Sentry Stones. I'm
Right,
not sure
right.
if there was.
It doesn't
there
look
was.
like there's anything on the Sentry Stone, but
Not a good roll.
no. An even worse
Continuing.
roll.
The wheels might be falling off here.
Yeah. We could be looking at the way that
So he's trying to kill some Blood Witches right now, it looks
Yeah.
like. 3 misses is just painful.
yeah.
No, I mean, he needs 7s, so
yeah.
you're likely to miss a few, but.
But yeah, three out of 4 is rough.
And he just missed it a boosted.
That's
Yeah, the wheels definitely have fallen off.
yeah.
That's too bad. Oh, Bradigus hasn't used his feet yet, and he's using his feet right now.
Wow. This is interesting.
So maybe, yeah, I guess that Wold Watcher is going to have to try and
And
solo that
bust the objective.
Maybe that's what he's going for, and then pop back into the. Yeah, so I mean, he did. He actually, even though his dice were terrible,
yeah, he still cleared his
he
zone.
did clear the zone out. He could
Yeah.
actually still do this.
He could do this.
So yeah, it's going to come down to, and I don't know if he had synergy up. It looks like he does. It looks like he had a.
Yeah, I
upkeep
think
token. see
his
that
I think his
upkeep token
that
up there.
die is marking Synergy 1.
So we don't know what
believe.
that grid looks like on that Wold Watcher at all. But if it's got anything out, it's going to be tough for that. It's going to be a tall order for that thing to kill.
It's really surprising that he held that feat that long.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he just didn't need to.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Well, that's a boxcars.
yeah. Yeah, so it's.
Oh, and his body is out. He's boosting these. Wow.
Well, I think he did
That's
it.
it.
I think that's game.
Okay, so the Wold Watcher's body was out, and he had to boost both of those.
Yeah.
And he rolled 12 and then 11.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, and now he's going to pop back into the zone when his feet
And win the
at the
game.
end of his
And
turn.
win the game, yeah.
Wow, amazing. Actually,
I can't tell. I don't think there's any more Crix models in the zone, right? Zone appears to be cleared.
Did he just block himself off from getting into the?
No,
no, there is
no.
one. There's one in that corner.
Yeah, I think there's a.
Okay, that's
yeah,
it.
And he
Yep,
killed it.
That's it.
That's it. Scenario victory to Robin and a 3-2 victory for Germany over Team USA Stripes.
Wait.
Oh, are we wrong about this? Oh, maybe we're wrong. We may be wrong.
Can we get confirmation on that?
Okay, so there is a Crix model there. But he still,
Oh, sorry.
has the. I believe a World Watcher is attacking a Crix model that is barely towed into the zone.
Right, and then so he blocked off Bradigus from getting back into the zone with a stickman.
Yeah.
And he turned the stickman into a forest to allow Bradigus to get back in.
Back in.
But you half your movement going back in.
Right.
So now they're going to measure to see whether Bradigus is within 2.5 inches of getting back into the zone.
Okay.
Going through the rough terrain.
Okay.
I believe this is what's happening.
I think so as well. It's a little difficult to tell on the stream here.
Yep. Oh, I think Robin figured out a way to do it.
Yeah.
That's game.
I believe that's game. Game to Robin.
Wow, incredible game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Did that go out on the stream? Okay.
Yeah, so it appears, like we said, just use the feat to move that Wool Watcher into the objective. Was able to score 2 points thanks to the objective still being alive. That helped him get ahead there at the end to win the match and bring down the overall match for the Germans, 3-2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was an incredible game to watch. I want to do did we do the math on the World Watcher?
The
killing
World Watcher. So the
objective
World
there?
Watcher is POW 13 with synergy. Is that correct?
Dice -5.
So dice -5, and he had to boost. His body was out. Is that
Right.
what we said?
Right. We might. Are we?
I don't think that's right because he rolled 3 dice both times. So I don't think his body was out.
Oh, apparently he was rolling 3 dice both
Yeah,
times.
it appeared he
and-
was rolling 3 dice. So at 3 dice off 5, we're talking on average he should do 11 points of damage to the objective,
With 2
which is
boosts?
not enough.
Right.
Yeah, so he definitely the dice were in his favor in the situation. He did about 4 points over average to destroy it. But you know,
Which, I mean, that balances out his really bad
his really
dice
bad
that
rolls
happened,
clearing the
earlier
zone
in
with
the turn.
Bradigus.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because otherwise, Bradigus, if there wouldn't have been quite as much drama if Bradigus had just gone through and cleared all of the
Cleared
zone
all the
out
zone, yeah,
by himself.
Yeah.
Just a reminder that we are going to rebroadcast this whole entire day right now. Is that right? Right after this? In about
an hour.
In about an hour, we're going to be doing a rebroadcast of the stream, just so that people, because all the different time zones internationally, everyone around the world can go back and watch this over again. Or if you want to watch the earlier rounds that you may have perhaps missed, you can watch that again. So in about an hour, we're going to go ahead and rebroadcast this whole thing. Just to cap it up, that was round 3 of the WTC.
Last round of the day today.
Yep, 2015, last round of today. We're going to start again tomorrow with rounds 4, 5, and 6. That was USA Team Stripes versus Germany, Dietrich and Denker. And we just saw a nail-biter finish
Absolutely.
for Germany with 3 points, or three victories, German to 2 American.
Yeah. Yeah.
So incredible game.
Great day. Lots of games. Lots of great games and
Yeah.
incredible final match here.
Yeah, I have had a ton of fun casting with you.
I have
Josh,
too.
so
I have
just
too.
wanted to
It's
say
been
that.
it's been good. This has been a really fun stream. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thanks to everyone for tuning in and
Yeah.
watching and talking in the chat. It's just been a blast to watch it and then interact with everybody. So
Absolutely.
tons and tons of thanks to that.
Yeah.
Again, you can follow us all on Muse on Minis on Twitter, Muse on Minis Facebook page, ETC, and enter the Crucible on Facebook, ETC Vidcast on Twitter. And then if you are looking for updates today and tomorrow on more WTC occurrences, WMH-WTC.com is going to be where you can go for live updates all day long of the event.
Yeah.
So
And I want to say a big thanks to our support guys, the guys that do all the actual work
Absolutely.
for this stream. Clinton, Matthew, basically all stars. So
yeah, they're
you-
literally running the show.
Yeah, so you guys have them to thank for this stream. Hopefully you're enjoying it. They're the ones to thank for it. So
Absolutely. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you try and catch the rebroadcast if you haven't seen the whole day.
yeah,
And that's pretty much it for us. So
yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely.
Hopefully another 3 great matches.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.